Welcome. Glad to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We are on the air. We are today on Wednesday via the Hump Day. Tonight, looking forward to this evening. It's our first huddle day today, so I'm excited. Today's a good day. A lot of up early today. A lot of details going into the charity events coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got the golf outing for Fisher House, Wisconsin on Monday. The motorcycle ride the following Sunday, September 4th. We've got our huddle coming up tonight. So a whole lot of stuff happening, but I'm glad to be here today. The Brewers last night, what do you say? You know, that was just ugly, pretty much from the get-go. So last night the Brewers fall in poor fashion. Just 10-1. They get drilled last night. Corbin Burns takes the loss, goes to 9-6 on the season. And last night, the Dodgers, it was early, it was often. They had 7 runs by the end of the 4th inning. Brewers were able to play 1 in the 5th, but that was pretty much it. Then the Dodgers plated 3 more in the bottom of the 8th just to kind of cap things off and squash the comeback if there was going to be one. Not that the Brewers have any kind of a potential offensive threat after the 7th inning. But that being said, 10 runs, 12 hits, and they pounded the ball last night. Corbin Burns, 6 hits, goes only 3 2/3 innings, giving up 7 runs, a long ball, 3 strikeouts. But threw a couple of walks last night, only on 81 pitches, threw 51 strikes, a little bit uncharacteristic of Corbin Burns last night, not finding the strike zone as consistently. And then Victor Caratini, you heard me correct, throws an inning last night. A couple of hits, 3 runs. They didn't want to keep burning up the bullpen, so there you go. Suter, Kelly, they go a couple of scoreless innings, giving up a few hits, but all was pretty much done by then. And when you're throwing Victor Caratini out there in the 7th, you know when you're down by 7 runs, it's 7-1. You're down 6 runs. In the bottom of the 8th, you know your team has no spark. None. To be able to come back and do any kind of damage at all. So that was the way things went last night in L.A. Brewers back at it today and hoping to get the at least 2 out of the 3. We talked about that yesterday. Kind of playing with house money. They've got a game. It's, by the way, it's 8:00 tonight. 8:00 tonight Central Time. Brewers on the road in L.A. So and Gonsolin, I tell you what, you talk about having an incredible year. Holy mackerel, he's on the money, man, big time. Big night for him last night. But that being said, Brewers take the loss and trying to get back at it today. You were hoping for 3 in a row. It just never, unfortunately, materialized. And then up in Green Bay, first of all, I thought it was rather interesting. 50 years. Larry McCarron has been either with or covering the Green Bay Packers. So as camp kind of closed down yesterday, Matt LaFleur class act. They gave Larry McCarron the practice game ball, brought him in to speak to the team, and the Rock, Larry McCarron, is able to address the Green Bay Packers as they close down yet another training camp. But Larry's been doing this for 50 years, whether it's as a player or as a broadcaster, doing it for a television station, whatever it happens to be. Larry's been doing it for now 50 years, and they bring it in yesterday and give Larry McCarron the football, which was really cool. It was a cool moment. A lot of the cameras caught it. I think they were kind of alerted. Oh, by the way, we're doing something pretty special here as we close out camp. So Larry got to address the team like I had mentioned. It was cool. It was a neat moment to see, and on a lot of the local broadcasts anyway. Nationally, everybody's talking about the comparison. Sammy Watkins says that Aaron Rodgers is, hey, yes, Aaron Rodgers, he's a whole other level, man. Patrick Mahomes is good, but Aaron Rodgers. Now, there's 2 things to remember here. One is Aaron Rodgers is a different cat. He's mentally a different level. Patrick Mahomes is a cerebral quarterback with a ton of talent, but there's a whole different chart level of smart when it comes to guys like Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and company. So Patrick Mahomes, they're looking for reasons to be motivated in this season, obviously. And you've got, obviously, Sammy Watkins now with the Green Bay Packers. But he was heaping some praise on his new quarterback. In an interview On the Packers official website, Larry McCarron, by the way, attributed the quote to Watkins when he was asked about Randall Cobb and compared Patrick Mahomes to Aaron Rodgers and company. He said, I think Pat's incredibly good, but A-Rod is on a whole nother level, he said. He's amazing. How he controls the ball, how he puts everybody in place. I've been with a lot of quarterbacks. I've never seen them carry themselves like Aaron Rodgers. That's the way Sammy Watkins looks at Aaron Rodgers. And remember, Sammy Watkins has been praised a couple of times by Aaron Rodgers when it comes to, Sammy, meaning Watkins, having good practices, being much better at doing what, he's kind of supposed to do, getting on the same page and everything. So it at least seems like there is between a guy you went out and got in the offseason, not that he was going to replace Devontae Adams in productivity by any stretch of the imagination, but a guy that you went out and got in the offseason to be a veteran presence. It seems like as long as he can stay healthy, that he and Aaron Rodgers are same paging it. So, which is good news. But then again, what's he going back to, hey, there's two sides to this. The other side is, what's he going to say? Aaron Rodgers is really smart, but Patrick Mahomes is, man, that cat's got it going on, Or if he says, yeah, they're about the same, trying to be, kind of play it down the middle, that's probably going to be more offensive to Aaron Rodgers, as we all know, inside that locker room. So he said what I thought he would say via the question, but it is apparently blown up because you know how we are. We like to compare things and run to the other guy and say, oh, my God, you're not as good as Aaron Rodgers. So I'm sure there's going to be motivation for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City this year to be as good as, if not better, when it comes to the cerebral side of the football. Not that it really matters because they're in the AFC, but you get the point. So there you go. So that's it. That's kind of the things that are going on. We're getting you ready for Packers and Chiefs coming up tomorrow night. Packers heading down to Kansas City today and getting ready for tomorrow night's final preseason contest. In the meantime, I got this is from Anthony, who says, after watching all of the Packers practices, both online and in person, I think that Watkins and Dubs are good. I think Christian Watson is going to be the guy that shines and surprise a lot of people. He just looks like he's the real deal. I've said all along, I thought Dubs would be better in the immediate future. Christian Watson, and it's boring to say this again because I go back to those that have seen him in person, both after the surgery, working out on the sidelines, and now that he started practice. They all say, look, he's got all the physical attributes. He's got speed, he's got height, he's got wingspan, he's got hand size, he's got all that. But he just is a guy that has to, as they say, grow into his body. His mental state and the ability to read and react, and then to be able to kind of transfer that to his body, his movements, his motion, his ability to get separation and such, that is a work in progress. That's going to take a little time. Not to say that he's not going to achieve it, but as far as achieving it right here, right now, I think it's going to take a little time. That's why I thought that Romeo Doubs would be the better wide receiver right out of the chute. He would be, when the pressure's on, he's probably going to be the guy you trust just a little bit more, because I don't know if Christian Watson's going to be there just yet. But I think they found themselves a decent wide receiver. Now we'll have to wait and see, obviously, because when it comes to draft choices, you never know. You never know, because today they might be good. They get injured tomorrow and they just never come back. They don't have the wherewithal to do that or what have you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. 877-867-1670. If you want to get a hold of us, that's the number to do so. You can find us over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us on the Facebook fan page. Go to Facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. Facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. You can also track us down on YouTube. Go to YouTube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Same thing on Twitch TV. You can email the program kind of the old-fashioned way, so to speak. TheBillMichaels@gmail.com. TheBillMichaels@gmail.com. The website is simply TheBillMichaels.com. Find it over there. You find us in all the podcasts, whether it's on Spotify, Apple iTunes, or over on Google Podcasts as well. That's a great way to keep in touch with the program. Evo, you producing today? You back at it again today?
Oh, baby, we're back at it, Bill. Hell yeah.
So here's my question. I know you guys did a little drinking this morning, but last night, did you get any kind of drunk text if by chance he stumbled upon the 10-1 loss of the Brewers out of Rowdy?
He's a man of his word, Bill. He said he swore off watching the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
So I don't think he did. I did get text at 1:30 in the morning. He wasn't drinking though. He was sending me his gambling picks. He stays up till about 1 a.m. every day.
God.
Vetting his gambling picks.
Yeah,
he did take the Dodgers tonight and the Padres as well. I think he took the Cardinals too. So none of those bode well for the Brewers.
That's dedication, man. Wow, that's dedication to do your gambling picks.
Well, but Bill, I heard you talk about it. Victor Caratini obviously pitched, the position player, the backup catcher. The Dodgers also pitched a second baseman last night, and Caratini got rocked, but the Dodgers position player, he didn't even get dusted up. He threw 7 pitches, 5 were strikes, and they got out of the inning. Yeah. It's like a tough loss last night.
Yeah, it was not what you were kind of hoping for. I don't know why. I think it was just this joyous optimism. I really thought the Brewers were going to get a win last night, and after the first couple of innings, I went, "Okay, I'm done." I never expected to get up this morning and go, "Oh my God, they came back and won." They just. Once they were down by what was it, 7-1 or whatever the hell it was, I was kind of like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, Corbin Burns got dusted up, dude.
Yeah, not going to happen. But Burns, every now and then he goes through that. Yeah. Which is okay. But, every now and then when he doesn't have his control and he walks a couple of batters, that's when you go, oh, okay. This is not his, because he's not a walker. He's a guy that pounds the strike zone, albeit via the corners and breaking stuff, but he pounds the strike zone. Last night, when you started to look at his numbers, and he threw 51 pitches for strikes and 30 for balls. And it's like, no, normally he's 45 pitches for strikes and maybe 15 or 20 for balls tops. And I thought, okay, last night that's not Corbin Burns. So anyway. But last night the Brewers just got drilled. So, anything out of Badger camp today as we start to close in on the Badger season? The Badgers have been really quiet.
Oh, their camp ended on Sunday, right. So I was just kind of like in a little lull because it was like the open practice on Sunday, and now we're 10 days away. Can you believe that? 10 days away from September 3rd.
I know. It's just been quiet. It was a very quiet camp. Not a lot of injuries, not a lot of controversy.
Came out the other day came out, Braylon Allen and Nick Herbig were going to be second team for the AP preseason.
Yeah.
For those, so that's, I think, the last big news to come up for Badgers camp.
There's just not much going on. It's very quiet.
It's the deep breath before the plunge, Bill, is what it is.
The more I look at the Badgers, and the more I watch the Badgers and I think about the more people talk to me, I was really optimistic for Badger football. I still am, don't get me wrong. But I was like really optimistic. And people are just killing them. Graham Mertz stinks and this and that, and Paul Christ and the offense, and they're going to get beat by Washington State. They'll get beat by Ohio State. They're going to get beat when Brett Bielema comes back. They don't ever win down in Northwestern. And I'm like, how many losses do people think they're going to take? 5 or 6 in this season? I mean, I certainly don't. In a 12-game season, that's not including any bowl games, I had them winning like 9 or 10. Is that what you predicted? If you guys did any predictions at all, but is that what you were thinking? 9 or 10 wins this season?
Yeah, I think my low was 9-3 for the Badgers. Yeah. I mean, Ohio State, week 4 in Ohio, that's horseshoe. That's tough. And then you got Michigan State and East Lansing, and you got, I guess Iowa could be a toss up there at Iowa. Those are the only ones that I, raise an eyebrow over.
I just, I can't imagine them coming in and losing to Illinois. With Illinois coming here and the return of Brett Bielema into Camp Randall. Northwestern is always, I get it, it's always a struggle. But you got to think talent-wise they're going to win that game. I agree with you. I think the loss to Ohio State, and let's just say, I don't want to say when they lose, but if they lose to Ohio State and they get drilled, then maybe I begin to think about things differently. But then again, let's say they play Illinois State, Washington State, New Mexico State, and they're all close games. Do you then raise an eyebrow and go, oh my God, what the hell? Because this is going to be an ugly Big Ten season. Because out of those 3, what is it, New Mexico State or Washington State's the better of the 2 teams?
Oh, they're not They're not good though. But yeah, Washington State maybe. But yeah, it's the Badgers are going to truck. They're just going to roll the first three, and then that Ohio State game. It's I don't want to sound like a defeatist already, but it's Ohio State. They have three Heisman candidates there doing their thing. It's on the road.
How much of an effect though does Ingram have on the offense?
Graham Mertz was talking about that last week. They're sticking with the Wisconsin philosophy, but adding in little wrinkles. And I know Graham Mertz was talking about how he spent a lot more time with the wide receivers and the skill positions,
right? And
really trying to, Ingram's trying to complement what they do best. We'll see. It's a breath of fresh air. It's someone kind of on the outside coming in. So I do like that. So, but again, it always comes back down to how many times we talked about this, the Graham Mertz.
Right. I know that they say they want to stick with Wisconsin offense. I get it because that's what you have right now. It's not like you have all the talent in the world to say, oh, we're going to become, Miami all of a sudden from years gone by, and you're going to start winging it down the field because you don't have that kind of talent to begin with. But you got to think that you're going to see more motion, movement, scheming guys open. A lot of maybe what we're going to see out of the Green Bay Packers this year, more of that pro style of offense, more movement and motion. I can't imagine it's just going to be, wide out on both sides, tight end on one or the other on the heavy package side, and, a running back in the backfield and Graham Mertz under center consistently. I can't imagine that's what they're going to run all the time. I got to think there's going to be more of a wrinkle to this because I don't think if that's the way you do it, unless you've got an offensive line that absolutely positively dominates, I don't think you can win that way. And I'll say this, and I know you don't play to recruit, but I also think you can't recruit that way. So you got to figure there's going to be some more motion and movement for the Wisconsin Badgers coming into the season. Let's do this. I'm woefully late for a break. If you want to hit us up over on the Bud Light live stream, as many of you already have, we'll get into that coming up here shortly. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Thanks so much. All right, back at it. 877-867-1670. Hit us up if you choose to do so. Let's go to our buddy Daniel listening in Toma. Toma, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I have a question on that Davis. They got Danny Davis. Is there a chance you come back for the practice squad since he just got hurt? He seemed like he looked pretty good.
It depends on what the injury is and how long he would be down for. Yes, I think that they want up until the injury. I thought they wanted to float him to the practice squad. Absolutely. But we'll just wait and see how serious they believe the injury to be. Usually, if they cut you loose, it's because it's going to be something that's going to linger, and then they don't want you rehabbing on the practice squad. They just as soon cut you loose and then later on bring you back once you're healthy. So, and that's the same thing they did the other day to the safety that they ended up jettisoning. So yesterday. So, my assumption is yes, they want to bring him to the practice squad.
All right. And my other thing is, you need volunteers. I'm actually free that day, I believe.
Come on down.
I could come there.
Come on down.
I'm coming from Toma with my little beater car.
There you go. Come on down.
I don't have a bike or not.
Throw you in the brewery.
Go, exactly.
That's the way to go. We need people to take some of the registration and to stage the bikes. That's it.
Okay, I can do that. And then, my car is my farmer horn on it. You'll understand it when you get to see it.
Okay.
And then I got a little beater car. My car got hit by a deer, so I'm fixing this car up. And I got a $1,000 radio in it and $100 horn in it. More value than the cat.
I was going to say, if you got a $100 horn.
It may be a beater car, but I got me
Oh my goodness.
Radio.
Daniel, thanks for the phone call.
You gotta see it.
I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I appreciate it. He's got the beater car, $100 horn, $1,000 stereo. Car's not worth that. And it got hit by a deer. Not that he hit a deer. It got hit by a deer. So the deer must have just put a can of whoop ass on his car jumping out of nowhere. Oh, my God. There you go. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Oh, good God. Does he call your show too, Ebo?
No, he does not. No.
Okay.
I could only be so blessed.
I was going to say, you get your fair share of imbibing people.
Oh, I got ones that Bill that I wish would call into your show sometimes too.
Charlie? Is Charlie one of them?
Scott, Charlie,
Okay.
Sasquatch Mike. There's another one.
Yeah. I get Charlie more than anything. And Charlie calls 47 times a show. So, which is.
No, it's a light day for him then.
Yeah. When he's feeling saucy, that's fantastic. So, oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Chris says, hey, Unit, how soon do you think David Bakhtiari is actually going to be back? Even though he's starting to partake in some of the practices, how far away is he? I think they would love to see him get some work in, full pad, all that kind of stuff coming up next week. But I would not be shocked if it's, say, game 2 or game 3 before he actually gets in. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think, here's Bill wanted to know how good he's going to be. He's been out of football for almost 2 years. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I certainly don't expect him to all of a sudden just go out there and be dominant. But I would hope that he's at least a semblance of himself. What else do we have here for you? The Packer, he said, do you think Danny Etling is going to make the team? Well, he is going to. I don't. If they get him, if they keep him, he's inactive, obviously. I don't think he makes the team. Maybe he floats over, along the way and still remains a free guy. But there's going to be Rodgers and Love, and that's pretty much it. You're going to have your running backs. I think the Patrick Taylor, Tyler Goodson, both of those guys. Kylan Hill's going to start the season on the PUP list. So that made that running back room just a little bit easier. So you're going to have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. If you had to take one, probably Patrick Taylor. Or Tyler. Tyler Goodson he looks really good this camp too. It's one of the more interesting positions because maybe they keep Tyler Goodson. I think they keep 7 wide receivers: Lazard, Watkins, Cobb. That's gimme. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson for sure. Amari Rodgers most likely. Although I don't think he's going to be. I think they're going to still continue to search for somebody better special teams wise. And then Juwan Winfrey, I think he's there as well. And Torrey, I think, then goes to the practice squad. The tight end position is going to be interesting because, Robert Tonyan, while he's been back, you wonder how close to being ready to start he is. You got Josiah DeGuara, Mercedes Lewis. Tyler Davis most likely is going to be your guy. And we know that Bakhtiari is going to be, he's active. Elton Jenkins, he's active. So you got Yosh Nijman, John Runyon, Josh Myers, Royce Newman, Jake Hansen, solid, Zach Tom, who they drafted, Sean Ryan. And then I would assume Caleb Jones, and I said this on Friday night last week, that dude is looking for a rope on top of his head, a Sherpa, and a goat to climb. That man is a mountain. Have you ever, Ebo, did you ever make it to a Minnesota Vikings game when they had the big tackle, Phil Lodeholt?
I mean, I know who you're talking about, but he is a behemoth of a man.
Phil Lodeholt is one of the biggest dudes I've ever stood next to, short of a guy like Charles Haley. And Phil Lodeholt in cleats that are an inch high, a helmet on top of his head, the dude looks like he's 6'10". Like when he's in full pads. I mean, that's one of the biggest dudes. He had an ass that had its own moon. The dude was huge, man. And this is what this is what Caleb Jones reminds me of. Caleb Jones, if you watched him on Friday night, he was just dump trucking people. I love the guy. I don't know what he's going to develop into, but I love the guy, man. So I would assume that that's going to be your offensive lineman. You're going to have Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, Jerron Reed, Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton. Those are going to be your defensive front, so to speak. Jonathan Ford, Jack Heflin. Those guys, they're going to be tough to cut. I wonder if Jack Heflin, if they end up cutting another player or another space, if they end up keeping a guy like Jack Heflin, he's going to be a tough guy to cut for sure. Your linebackers, the outside linebacker position, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, as we know, Garvin, Enigbare really started to lock in this week. Galea and Hamilton probably are going to be the two closest guys that either in or out. There's Kobe Jones. He's going to be a tough cut as well, but I think he's probably on the outside looking in. Inside linebackers, Campbell and Quay Walker, Chris Barnes. McDuffie has impressed the hell out of me. He's made the team. He locked in. And then obviously your defensive backs, Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas, Eric Stokes, Shamar Jean-Charles. Keyshawn Nixon is another guy. Keandre Thomas is another guy. Rico Gafford. One of those three probably to go. I would say it's Gafford, but not 100%. And then obviously your safeties, Amos Darnell Savage Jr. Micah Abernathy really stepped up on Friday night too. He's another guy Mike Clemens and I were talking about that's really locked in. And then there's Sean Davis is the other one. Abernathy most likely in. Tariq Carpenter is a guy that they really, really like. But when they let go of Vernon Scott, and that's the guy's name I was trying to kind of fish in my head for the other day, or earlier in the conversation about the other day, who left with a shoulder injury. They're probably going to be shopping a little bit maybe for a veteran, but Tariq Carpenter is probably on the outside looking in. So, and then you got Mason Crosby, Pat O'Donnell. The long snapper right now is Jack Coco. So there's going to be no changes there. So that's kind of the way the roster will shape up for the most part. That's kind of the way I believe anyway the roster is going to go. So good stuff and good email. Good question too. Going to step away, take a quick break. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. They are the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Tonight, we're going to be at the Mecca down in the Deer District. Budweiser taking over the beer beverage side of things in the Fiserv Forum and the Deer District tonight, and we are going to be there to kind of kick things off. It is the Huddle, myself, Kevin Holden from CBS 58. We're going to go on the air at 6 o'clock on many of these same stations. 6 to 8 tonight. It's the Bill Michaels Huddle, and it's brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. We'll be live in the Deer District at the Mecca Sports Bar and Grill. Look forward to seeing you down there this evening. They're going to have some prizes, some swag to give away, getting you registered for a big screen TV that we're giving away at the end of the season as well, yet again this year. So tonight we will see you at the Deer District in the Mecca. It's all brought to you by Bud Light. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
I give that a 2.99.
Okay. Hey, Dad.
What's wrong?
That woman over there. Don't look.
What did she do?
She judged my dive. Gave it a 2.99. Isn't that weird?
Hey, that's Gina Della from Pella. I'm going to find out what this is all about. Excuse me. Why are you judging my daughter's diving? I know who you are.
I'm sorry? Judging?
Yeah, she said you yelled out.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about her. I was finalizing this month's special at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. That's funny.
What's special?
Pay only 2.99% interest for 10 years.
On new Pella windows. Really? 10 years?
Yep.
But it's the middle of summer. You can't get a deal on installing new windows during the warmest season.
You can at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Oh, 2.99.
Dad?
Oh, not you, sweetheart. The deal at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. 2.99% for 10 years.
Visit PellaWI.com.
Proof credit.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. On the air on this Wednesday. Back at it again tonight. The huddle begins tonight. Looking forward to it. See you at the Mecca Sports Bar down in the Deer District this evening, 6 to 8. Looking forward to that. A couple people after we just kind of went through the roster there chiming in and wanting to talk about a couple of people. How can you let Ertl go? Thoughts there. Look, it's not Ertl, by the way. It's Danny Etling. I don't know where you got Ertl from. You say E-R-T-L-E. But it's Etling, Danny Etling, as far as quarterback goes. Packers probably can get him onto the practice squad, being a 7th-round pick in 2018. It's not as if he's, he has bounced around to quite a few teams, but you would assume he's going to find his way there. So I'm not completely worried about that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. By the way, coming up after the top of the hour, Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions, as we continue our look around. We had our buddy Paul Allen from the Vikings on last week. Dan Miller on this week, the voice of the Detroit Lions. How much I think the Lions are going to be a team that surprises people this year. Now, I'm not saying they're making the postseason. I'm just saying it's going to be a few more wins sprinkled in than we've seen the Lions culminate in the past. So Dan Miller, voice of the Lions, coming up here in about 15 minutes. But that, I think Etling has practice squad. I think they really like him, and I think we've seen enough out of him to say, yeah, he would warrant that. But you didn't see him go against 1s and 2s. You saw him go against 4s and 5s. Right? 877-867-1670. Let's go to Kevin, listening to us in central Wisconsin. Kevin, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Oh, it's a beautiful day up here in central Wisconsin, Bill.
Awesome. I can't wait to get up to the Northwoods, as a matter of fact, get a little bit higher up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the temperatures have been really good, but
yep.
It's starting to become football season. You got the high school football season in full swing and everything like that. But I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about the Badgers and Graham Mertz. I'm kind of looking at Mertz this year as the way we are looking at Jordan Love. Because his first year with Mertz, he actually had the COVID year. He missed a few games because he had COVID. Last year, they finally kind of got into the mix of things and got it going. So I'm kind of looking at Mertz this year as maybe more or less like the Love situation in Green Bay, and we'll see how the first 3 games go. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Mertz, first of all, Mertz has a job. There's really not anybody behind him, so we all know that Mertz is going to be the quarterback. But what I want to see in the first 3 games is Mertz just be crisp, not make stupid plays to where we're all looking at each other going, where the hell was he throwing it? Why did he throw that ball? I want to see his reaction time between his mind and his arm be a lot quicker. Whatever the synapses are, they need to be quicker. He needs to understand that. I want to see the field open up for him and everything slow down. So it looks like he sees those windows before the windows open. That's what I'm looking for out of Graham Mertz.
Well, I guess that's where I'm looking at it too. He's got a good young receiving core. Defensive-wise in the Big Ten, the only team that, besides Ohio State, that I really think that could give Wisconsin fits might be that Michigan State game. I only see them, just like you, at the most, maybe losing 3 games. But, Iowa, I guess, could be tough, too, going to Iowa. But I
know. Here's the other thing, and I know that everybody's high on Michigan State coming into the season. There's a lot of reason to be. But Michigan State, other than the fact that they've got a ranking and a lot of hype coming into this season, they've got to prove it to me. Michigan State's been hyped in the past. Now, granted, they've had more success than, say, Nebraska's had when it comes to the hype since, Nebraska's joined the Big Ten. But Michigan State, for a long time, man, it was always supposed to be, this is their year. They're going to dominate Michigan. They're going to beat Ohio State. And they take an ass beating. So until they do it consistently, I'm not going to be a big fan of Michigan State. I think right now the tougher game to me is obviously Ohio State and then playing Iowa on the road. Those are the 2 that probably I would circle and say toughest games for the Wisconsin Badgers. I don't circle Michigan State in the same light as I do Iowa and Ohio State.
And then you were talking about Minnesota before. I think Wisconsin's got a chip on their shoulder from the way they kind of took it on the chin last year up there in Minnesota. I think that I think Wisconsin is going to come out firing on all cylinders.
Mhm.
But you were talking about Nebraska. What do you think about that game this weekend in Dublin?
Boy, I got it. Are we there already? Holy mackerel. You know what? I don't even look at it. Didn't even pay attention to it. I got to be honest. I could sit here and give you a bunch of crap, but I didn't even pay attention to it. Didn't even care. Didn't even care. So
It's the Big Ten season starts this weekend, Bill.
I didn't even care until the Badgers are playing. I didn't even care. Didn't even look at it, to be honest with you. So what an idiot am I? They play what? Western Michigan, I think, right?
No, it's Northwestern.
Northwestern. Okay.
It's Northwestern and Nebraska. I mean, I didn't believe it either when I was watching.
Oh, Northwestern.
Northwestern.
Okay. Northwestern and Nebraska. Didn't even pay attention to it.
I didn't really realize it either until I was watching the Big Ten Network the other night.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't know what else to say. Northwestern and Nebraska. You're right. Over in Dublin. In what is that? Aviva? Is that Aviva Stadium? I think they're playing that thing in.
That's why I pronounced it.
Yeah. There you go. I didn't even realize it. Holy crap.
Oh, it's actually
all right.
It's on Fox at 11:30 too.
The only thing I knew is that early on, what is it? I was a buddy of mine is a huge Illinois fan. We were just talking about this because when we were out at Wild Ridge Golf Course the other day, the former director of golf there is now working at that university course in Illinois, and I know Illinois hosts Wyoming this weekend because they were going to go down and play the golf course, and then they were going to the game. That was the only one that I really paid attention to. I didn't even realize that game is going to be in Dublin, Ireland, between Northwestern and Nebraska. No idea. I'm an idiot.
You think the Big Ten's going to do that a little bit more now? Maybe with having contracts.
Yep, absolutely. I think they'll put up big I don't think they're going to take big matches away, say from some of the home teams. Like they're not going to move an Ohio State overseas. If Ohio State has a game at the Shoe, but they could certainly do it if Ohio State's going to play UCLA and you take those two big teams, those two big, schools, so to speak, with those viewing audiences, the name and the viewing audience, and put it over there in Dublin. I could see something like that happening, but I don't think they're going to take a game away from the Shoe.
Yeah. Well, I hope they don't take a game away from Camp Randall either.
Right. Yep. No doubt. All right.
All right, Bill, you have a great day.
Thanks for making me aware, man. That's what this program's for. Appreciate it. Every now and then you learn something. Ebo, did you realize that Nebraska and Northwestern's they're over in Dublin, Ireland?
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Like, why the hell is Nebraska and Northwestern going to Ireland?
The only thing I was aware of was that Illinois was playing this weekend. That's it. Didn't realize it.
They're in Dublin. A wee little look at the Irish. Like, what Notre Dame and I don't know, like insert another green colored school going on,
right?
It's a head scratcher, but it's sort of like I was trying to look into it. It's like the Ireland's tourism trying to. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know why. Yeah, I have to. I think completely dumb on this. I can. I
think Scott Frost Bill is trying to find a 4-leaf clover to have some luck to save his job.
Yeah, well, he better put it in his underwear and keep it with him at all times because that program hasn't been worth anything for a long time now. I agree. Let's do this. We're really late for a break. Going to take a break, come back, get an update from Mike Clemens. Don't forget Dan Miller, voice of the Lions, coming up after the top of the hour. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Are you a gold breaker? Play your favorite games at Potawatomi Sunday afternoons now through September, and you could win your share of $1 million in prizes. Break the code, win the $10,000 top jackpot, and everyone playing slots also wins a prize. Anyone can win on any machine again and again. Do you have the golden touch? Gold Breaker, only at Potawatomi. Visit paysbig.com/goldbreaker for more. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Now, a training camp update. In Green Bay, here's Mike Clemens.
The Packers reduced their roster to 80 players. Safety Vernon Scott and receiver Danny Davis from Wisconsin were released. Both players dealing with injuries right now. Offensive right tackle Cole Van Lanen, who grew up near Lambeau Field and played for the Badgers, was traded yesterday to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 7th-round pick.
I got a year under my belt now, and I just really am excited for this opportunity. And I get to play in the National Football League. And I think I just need to show that I'm accountable and consistent and can play at a high level at all positions. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm playing all over the board, and I just got to show that it doesn't matter where I play, I can still play at a high level at any position.
His new head coach is former Packers quarterback Doug Peterson. Now the Jaguars are in Atlanta for joint practices against the Falcons. Peterson is looking for a new right tackle on the Jags offensive line.
Still some competition there. It'll be solidified, and whoever that is will be taking all the reps at that spot. So these next 2 days, the game, as much time, if they get any, is important for seeing who those 5 guys are going to be.
In Detroit, the Lions have had live tackling sessions in practice, and the Packers face the Chiefs tomorrow night, where Andy Reid has had Patrick Mahomes playing in the preseason. I asked Matt LaFleur about his decision to keep as many as 30 of his top players out of the game.
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own opinion on it, and we're going to worry about the Green Bay Packers and what's best for us. And there's a lot of guys that don't play their guys too. So, what's the right answer? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. It's whatever works. So, but we're confident in our process and just the number of reps and how we're working our guys to get them to where they need to be. And, I'll let you guys criticize all our decisions.
That's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. I'm Mike Clemens on the Bill Michaels Show.
Our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin reminding you that I hate to say this, but eventually the cool weather is going to start seeping on in, and you're going to go, damn, I wish I would have ordered those windows and doors. Or you're going to sell your house and go, damn, I wish I would have ordered those windows and doors. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, they can get you taken care of. And right now, they have 10 years, 2.99%. 10 years, 2.99%. And they can lock you in while everything else is going up. They can lock you in at 2.99 for 10 years. So if you're going to do your whole house, it makes the most sense, right? You save money. You don't have to come up with everything up front. If you're just doing one window, it's no big deal. one door, no big deal. But if you're going to do your house and you're really thinking about it, you want more economical features in your home. If you want to keep the cold out in the wintertime, the heat out in the summertime, if you want it to be more beautiful, more valuable, you're going to get it back. You might as well go ahead and do it now. Call them 855-PELLA-WI, 855-PELLA, 855-PELLA-WI, or simply go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com. Coming up in the next hour, Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions, going to be joining us. We'll talk with him about the outlook and the optimism for this Lions team, which, by the way, Dan Campbell it took a lot of criticism. And there's this speculation out there that he's just not the smartest when it comes to head coaching material. And he says, I just don't give a damn if they think I'm smart or not. As long as I'm smarter than the average bear and I get the job done, who cares? So we're going to talk with him a little bit about that. And we're also going to hear from Mason Crosby coming up in the next hour as well. So stick around. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show on a Wednesday, the Wednesday edition, getting through the hump day, the Wednesday edition of the Bill Michaels Show. More coming up next hour right after this. Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Show. We are glad you're on board. All the stations now joining us all throughout the great network. That continues to grow. Thanks to our folks in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Thanks to our folks in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Eau Claire, La Crosse, Platteville, all across the great state and beyond the borders. Thanks for taking a listen to us. We certainly appreciate it. You can always take us anywhere and everywhere by downloading the app. You can go to thebillmichaels.com. That's thebillmichaels.com, or just go to thezonemadison.com WOZN, the Zone Madison. That's our flagship station. And you can also grab that app and listen to the program anywhere and everywhere. Don't forget, coming up tonight, our first huddle of the season, going to be live down at the Mecca Sports Bar down in the Deer District at the Fiserv Forum. So looking forward to that, and to talk a little bit more about some of the opponents in the NFC North. Our good buddy Dan Miller, the voice of the Lions, now joining us on the hotline. Dan, how you doing, man? How you been?
I'm good, Bill. How are you?
Doing well. It's an exciting time, obviously, but I'm telling people, if I've got to pick a sleeper this year, one of my sleepers is going to be Detroit. I just got this goofy feeling. So you tell me why my feeling is correct.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are basing it on the way that they played last year, and only won 3 games, but played hard throughout. They got young players that are coming up, and I think they made some moves to improve their offense in the offseason, and people figure they're going to get better defensively. I think there's also, a little bit of intoxication from Hard Knocks that people have seen Dan Campbell, and he's an infectious guy, and I think people believe that there's something happening in Detroit. It's funny because, outside of Detroit, I think there's a lot of optimism inside Detroit. I think we're cautiously optimistic, but it's like you end every conversation you have about how things have improved with, but they got to win because, we've been through this. We've fallen for head fakes before. I'm not in any way, shape, or form diminishing what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done. I just, it's hard to know exactly where they are in the world of taking that next step. I think they're on the way. I think they've got things headed in the right direction. Where it is, I think, is a hard thing to figure out.
So I think they're, more than a 6-win team. I just look at things and think they've gotten better. I believe in Dan Campbell. Let me go back to a statement I made before we came to you. That was that Dan Campbell, there's this perception, like people have this Twitterverse of Dan Campbell's not the smartest. And he came out and actually addressed it. He said, I don't give a damn. As long as we're winning football games, who cares? So you tell me, you've been around this guy. There's a lot of football nomenclature this guy has, right?
Well, listen, I think, and you and I may have talked about this before because it comes up, and I understand why it comes up, but so many people look back at, his introductory conference and press conference and the kneecaps and stuff like that. And, I tell people is this, and this is kind of tangential to what you were talking about. What I tell people is this, that was 25 seconds out of a 90-minute press conference. And his opening press conference was fantastic. We've unfortunately been through a lot of coaches in the major sports here in Detroit because we haven't been good for a while in, most of our teams. So we've been through a lot. I'm telling you, he knocked it out of the park. And I've talked to grizzled, hardened writers who, don't want to admit anything's good. They all said, you know what, it was great. And he set the tone that day. But I think the problem was what went out to the rest of the country was a 20-second clip that did kind of make him look like a meathead and kind of made him look like, kind of this kooky guy who is going to play on these kooky themes and not make it work. But here's the thing. He's real. The players like that. He cares about the players. He knows what it is to be a player in this league. And I just think he resonates with the guys. And no, he is not dumb by any means. He's not a meathead by any means. He plays to that a little bit because that's just kind of who he is. He's kind of, people have said he's kind of like the dude. And he is a little bit like that. But don't let that fool you. I mean, look, I'm not sitting here saying that he's going to start getting mail from Mensa and that's going to win the Lions 12 games in the Super Bowl. But if you think you're going to win because Dan Campbell isn't a smart football guy, that's not the case. He knows what he's doing. He's surrounded himself with terrific coaches. If you look at their offense last year, that thing took off once he took over the play calling. And he'd never done that before. So this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing in terms of football. But you still got to pull the whole program together, but that won't be the reason this thing doesn't work if it doesn't.
After the bye week in week 9 last year when they were struggling, what changed?
Well, number one, he changed his offensive coordinator and put himself in position to call plays. Jared Goff got more comfortable. They signed Josh Reynolds, wide receiver that Jared Goff was comfortable with. And even though he only caught 17, 18 passes or something like that, he just brought another guy that Jared Goff believed in and trusted and was comfortable with Amon-Ra St. Brown took off, caught 51 passes in his last 6 games. And the offense started to come together. The defense wasn't overly talented, but if you look at some of the scores, they kept him in games. So it just kind of gelled a little bit, and they started to see some results from what they had been working towards. And I think when football players see, hey, what we've been breaking our backsides to do actually works, that's an impactful thing. And I think that's what happened. So I think there was some changes within the coaching staff that mattered. I think there was changes within personnel that mattered. I think the confidence started to come up, and that mattered. But the one thing, and this is where I think a lot of people have kind of, been a little bit smitten with the Lions, is the thing that never changed, even when they were losing, was effort. They had a couple clunkers here and there, but for the most part, this team played hard and, had a lot of games that could have gone the other way. And 3 wins easily could have been, 6 or 7 last year. To be fair, that probably one of the wins they got, the one against Minnesota, could have gone the other way. So, but I just think there was a lot to like for a 3-win team. Now you got to make it a lot to like for a team that wins significantly more than that. I agree with you. I think this is more than a 6-win team. It should be, I think, a minimum of 7 if they're really going to take the next step. I think the offense is ready to go. I think the defense still has questions, but it's just, it is a sign that they are headed in the right direction with a management group that seems to have a real plan.
Talking with Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions. It seems like every year when you and I talk, there's some weapons, there's some positivity on offense, and they're still looking for secondary players. Now, they get a huge A+ in the draft. I think getting Aiden Hutchinson right away was an enormous get, and then it kind of trickles down from there. Give me your thoughts on the draft, how guys have developed, and how they've have or haven't bolstered the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden is the real deal, and I'm really anxious to see what he can do in the regular season. But all of the boxes in terms of effort, attitude, deference to veterans, the way that you're supposed to come in and act as a rookie, he checks all those boxes, and he just is he's everything you could have hoped for. Now we just have to see it on the field during the regular season, because obviously that's where it all matters. The secondary, I think, that the hope is they're going to get better because the pass rush is better. Let's start there. Pass rush was almost non-existent last year. So add to that, and I think your guys just get better because the quarterback got to get rid of it. There were so many times last year where the quarterback could just sit back there, go through his progressions multiple times. I don't care who you are, who your cornerbacks are. If they're Pro Bowlers, they're going to get beat in this league if you let quarterbacks sit back there. So by getting Hutchinson, by re-signing Charles Harris, by they hope at some point getting Romeo Clara back, by the growth of guys like Austin Bryant, they're hoping the pass rush is better. Secondary, look, they're banking on improvement from within. They re-signed Tracy Walker, who had a bounce-back season last year. They brought over Deshaun Elliott from Baltimore. They're hoping he can lock down the other safety spot. Jeff Okudah's coming off an Achilles injury, but I believe he's going to start game 1. He was a number 3 overall pick a couple years ago. They're hoping that he can show that he's somewhat worthy of being that guy that people believed was a top 10 pick. They don't have Jerry Jacobs. He started a lot of games for them last year. He injured his knee. They're hoping to get him back at some point. And Amani Oruwariye did a real nice job at the other cornerback spot. There are pieces there, but they've got to come together. And again, it starts with the rush, and then it's going to be dependent upon growth that you continue to get from those young players. They didn't go out and spend a ton of money to add guys, but they do have young players, and that's the plan here. They do have young players that they're banking on improving or getting healthy from injuries last year.
You had talked a little bit about the offense and how it began to evolve last year, and St. Brown obviously really kind of turned things on towards the end of the season. We saw him up close and personal in the last game when the Packers took on the Detroit Lions as well. But Jared Goff, does he take a step forward? Is he a guy that needs to take a step forward, or just the talent around him needs to get on the same page with him? What does he need to do?
I think it's both those things. I think, number one, they've improved the talent significantly. They never had their offensive line together last year. They thought that was going to be the strength of the team, and it wasn't bad. But they never had this starting group together that they believe can be a top 5, top 10 group in the NFL. And frankly, with the assets they've put into it, you've got 3 number 1 picks there, a high-priced free agent, and a third-round pick who made the Pro Bowl last year. You've put a lot into that. You should be getting something out of it. And that group has a chance to be really good. So start there. That should give Jared Goff a running game, because with Swift and Jamal Williams, you've got guys that can run the football. And in Swift, a guy that you can swing the ball out to and, get him in space and he can make plays. They've improved the receiver position, the growth of Amon-Ra, signing DJ Chark to get some help, re-signing Josh Reynolds, drafting Jameson Williams, who won't be in until probably October. But, and having TJ Hawkins at the tight end, the offense is ready to go. This offense isn't scoring from day one. It'll be a massive disappointment, because that should be the given for the team right now, is that their offense can play. And where Goff is concerned, this is his year to show that he is the quarterback for this football team. If they come out of this year still having questions about whether or not he's the guy, the same questions that kind of followed him out of Los Angeles when it didn't work out there in the final year, then I think they got a big decision to make, because you can't go another year not knowing if he's the guy. But all the pieces seem to be in place this year for him to make that statement that, in fact, he is the guy. Or if he comes up short, they have to really look at that position and decide what they want to do.
The win total for this team, I think, is obviously going to be, higher, maybe creeping up on 8, 9 wins if things go well. I know one thing. I don't think they're going to be the cellar dweller in the NFC North. I find it funny. I was talking the other day that somebody had said they ranked the Bears offensive line 32nd, and the question was posed to them why, and they said because I can't rank them 33rd. That's how bad they felt the Bears were going to be. So I think it's going to be an upward tick this year. How do you see the NFC North going?
Well, look, I think I've said this to you every single time. As long as 12 is taking snaps in Green Bay, that's the team. He's a phenomenal player. He is a difference maker. He is somebody who makes everybody around him better. He wills teams to victory. I know there's a lot going on in terms of the supporting cast around him, but I just think as long as he's there, and with some of the defensive talent that Green Bay obviously has, that's the team to beat. And then I think you can look at Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago and say, yeah, there's possibilities for those teams, but there's questions. And I've heard the questions about Chicago's offensive line. That's not great when you're dealing with a second-year quarterback that you're trying to develop. And they didn't exactly give him a ton of weapons to work with either. So probably more questions in Chicago than elsewhere. But, Minnesota's still got explosive players on offense, man, and a new coach. So let's see how it goes there. But I think it runs through Green Bay. And then I think it's probably Minnesota and Detroit. And how far can Detroit come is the question. And what does the new coaching staff do with some really talented players in Minnesota is the other. And then how does Chicago make up for the deficiencies? So, look, I don't put any limits on what the Lions can do. There is talent here, and it's getting better. As I said at the top, where we are in that progression is the question. But it's not going to surprise me if they come out and start winning some games. And they've got an opportunity to get off to a good start. They got 3 of their first 4 games at home. So we're going to know a lot about this team right off the bat. And, they have Minnesota coming up in week 3 of the season. So we'll know something about the division. They play a playoff team in Philadelphia in the opener. So it's not going to be long before we figure something out about the Lions. But I think it's a really interesting year. It's a very different feeling when we have people all over the country saying nice things about the Lions. But we're just, I think Dan Campbell has made the point that really doesn't matter. It's about what you do in the field, because people saying nice things about you isn't going to help you beat Philadelphia in week 1 or Washington in week 2.
Is the fan base feeling it? Are they starting to kind of look over that fence and go, okay, there's something here to be excited about? Or are they still sitting back with really, really cautious optimism?
No, I think they feel it. I think they absolutely feel it. Look, Campbell's a hard guy not to feel when you're around him. And I think he is captivated this fan base. I think, they really like Brad Holmes and the measured approach that he has taken to building this roster and the tangible things that you can see from the way that he has built the roster. I think they like this coaching staff because you for the first time in a long time can see young players across the board improving and figuring things out and becoming part of the solution. So, no, I think when you're dealing with Lions fans, there's always some trepidation because they have fallen for so many head fakes before. And I just think that there is a part of it that they want to see it, but I don't think that they've completely dismissed what's going on. I think there is some excitement and belief, yes, cautiously optimistic, but I wouldn't say that they're turning their back on it and saying, you've got to show me before I'm even going to pay attention. There's people paying attention to this franchise and Lions fans that are excited that they feel like for the first time in a long time, there's people in place that have a strong conviction about what they're doing and they're putting the plan in motion and making it happen.
Dan, great stuff as always. Best of luck throughout the season. I know we'll touch base again real soon, but take care, and then we'll see you over at Lambeau Field at some point, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later. There you go. Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions, joining us for a couple of minutes. I agree with him. I think, don't get me wrong, you got to walk before you run. But I think the Lions are going to be one of those teams where you would always just kind of pencil them in as a loss. And I think this year you can pencil in more than a few wins. I really do. I think the Lions are going to surprise a few people. Out of the teams that are picked to do, some things on the uptick, I think they're going to be one of them. And I think that for sure. This portion of the program, by the way, thanks to Dan for joining us. By the way, brought to you by our friends over at the Milwaukee Admirals. Do not forget hockey season. Even though it's still warm outside, it's going to be in the 80s today. I know hockey season is not far off. And if you're looking for season tickets or tickets for any event, any group outing, any of the promotions, go to MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. That is MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. I just was informed where next week's huddle is going to be. I'm excited about this. This week's huddle, Budweiser taking over the Fiserv Forum. They're putting us down at the Mecca. I can't wait for that. That's kind of a cool kickoff. Next week, they called me up and said, "What do you think of this?" And I'm all in. I'm like, damn straight. Let's do this. It's going to be a fun time next week. Oh boy. And we're going to see if we can't bring some people with us for this one. So I'll tell you what it is when we come back. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. But if you're looking for hockey tickets, go to MilwaukeeAdmirals.com and see them quest for yet another Calder Cup and get back into the postseason and do even more damage this upcoming season. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. So coming up tonight, we are the first Bill Michaels Huddle going to be live down at the Mecca. We're going to be down there this evening in the Deer District, right in front of the Fiserv Forum. Really looking forward to that. So next week, I was just informed our friends at Beechwood and Bud Light just got a hold of us and shot me a text and said, would you be okay with this? And to me, it's spectacular because it kills two birds with one stone, but it's very, very meaningful to me. Next week, next Wednesday night, the show will be live at the final Wednesday night live at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. The bands go on the stage at 7. We're supposed to take the stage at 8 to be able to talk a little bit about the motorcycle ride coming up because that's the final Wednesday night live. It's bike night. It's Fisher House charity night. So they said, let's do that. Let's support the ride. Let's support the charity. So it means a lot to me. But they're going to let us do the show. Now, I'm not quite sure where we're going to do it just yet. But we might do it sitting at a picnic table out in front of Wednesday Night Live, looking at the Budweiser Pavilion, right in front of the Cream Puff Pavilion coming up on Wednesday night next week. So if you're not going to make it tonight, make it next Wednesday night. It's going to be a fantastic time down at the Bud Pavilion. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Ebo, you ever been there? You ever been to the Bud Pavilion?
Yeah, I have. Oh, yeah.
Have you? Okay. I wasn't sure if you'd ever been there or not, but we're going to do that next week. So if you guys can come out, even if you got to go back to do the show on Thursday morning, you can always do it from the house. But even if you got to go back to do the show on Thursday morning, you guys can come out and be the guest because I just got a note from the Budweiser people that said, have you brought everybody out here yet? And I said, no. And they said, bring everybody out. We love to feed them, love to give them some beverages, love to let them listen to the music. So if you guys want to go, you got an invite to come to town.
Music, beer, food.
Yes.
Sounds very enticing, Bill. Very enticing indeed.
Zero out of pocket expense.
I'm going to dabble in a little music tonight. I got ZZ Top at the Sylvie tonight, dude.
Do you really?
Yeah, Madison, let's go.
It's without Dusty. And Dusty died about a year ago, yeah.
I saw ZZ Top right before COVID hit and shut down the world, and it was on their 50th anniversary tour, and Dusty Rhodes is still alive, obviously. It was one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen in my life. So tonight, we'll see what happens without Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty had passed away just before making the appearance last year at Sturgis. And I think they were doing the Buffalo Chip, if I'm not mistaken. He died like a week before the show. And they said, we're doing the show. He loves Sturgis. They're doing the show. So they did the show, but they darkened half the stage and left a light on his empty microphone.
Yeah.
And they said it was really cool, but really sad, the appearance of it. They said it was a very, very memorable show that they did at the Buffalo Chip. So it's going to be interesting tonight if you haven't seen them since. So I wonder how they.
Yeah, I want to see if they still bust out the. I hope they bust out the fuzzy guitars and spin them. But without Dusty Rhodes, we'll see.
Yeah,
the new bass is supposed to be really good. So
they're doing those the 3D stuff where they'll project via 3D.
The holograms.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff,
hologram stuff. They did that for Michael Jackson for an actual concert.
They did it for Harry Carey on the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah, did they really?
Yeah, Harry Carey was out there in that cornfield.
I didn't see that because we were obviously out in Sturgis at the time. So
yeah.
I didn't see that. I would have loved to have seen that. But I know they did it here in Milwaukee. I think it was for Prince. they did, I think it was the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and a band played all the music for Prince, and they had the hologram of Prince's concerts. And they had Prince on stage, which was, they said it was like mesmerizing. So I wonder.
It's so bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like we're just dipping our toe in it. Just wait till a couple of years from now. It's like going to be wild.
Like you don't even need to have the band anymore. See, so suddenly Jimi Hendrix is, appearing live, so to speak. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. So boy, that'll be a cool concert tonight. And that's at the Sylvie, huh?
Yeah, that's where I saw him last time too, and I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019.
Now, are you going as a fan, or are you going with the radio station?
Oh, as a fan.
Okay.
Oh, big fan. Billy Gibbons is like, and he's incredible on the guitar.
Yep, no doubt. Good stuff. He is. He's one of those guitarists that were very underrated. We talk so much like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eric Clapton and those guys, and he's very underrated when it comes to playing the guitar. I agree. So anyway, good stuff. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. When we do come back, I want to get into it. Mason Crosby had a chance to go back and forth with the media. I want you to hear that because we're all waiting to find out where he's at in his rehab and in his recovery. So we're going to get into that discussion coming up after the bottom of the hour here. Hey, I want to remind you, our friends over at New Male Medical Center, treating guys with ED all over the state of Wisconsin, well beyond the borders as well. 98% success rate. That's a 98% success rate. And so look, all but guaranteeing the fact that they can help you out. So if you got it, you know it, call them without a doubt. However, let's say you're moody, you're sluggish, you're tired, you're just kind of dragging ass all the time. Call them because it could be low T if you're over the age of 30. It takes you maybe 10, 15 minutes. Go in, get your numbers checked. You're good to go. Otherwise, if you need to start the all-in-one weight loss program, and yes, it works, call them. 414-455-4451. 414-455-4451. Again, 414-455-4451. That's the New Male Medical Center. Again, 414-455-4451. Anywhere you're listening to my voice, call that phone number and they can get you into any location. It's that good. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break, come back and hear from Mason Crosby. Waiting for him to come back and start kicking again. What kind of seasons is he going to have? Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
I give that a 2.99.
Okay. Hey, Dad.
What's wrong?
That woman over there. Don't look.
What did she do?
She judged my dive. Gave it a 2.99. Isn't that weird?
Hey, that's Gina Della from Pella. I'm going to find out what this is all about. Excuse me. Why are you judging my daughter's diving? I know who you are.
I'm sorry? Judging?
Yeah, she said you yelled out.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about her. I was finalizing this month's special at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. That's funny.
What's special?
Pay only 2.99% interest for 10 years.
On new Pella windows. Really? 10 years?
Yep.
But it's the middle of summer. You can't get a deal on installing new windows during the warmest season.
You can at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Oh, 2.99.
Dad?
Oh, not you, sweetheart. The deal at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. 2.99% for 10 years.
Visit PellaWI.com.
Proof credit.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Good to have you. The Bill Michaels Show continues on. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Our friends over there at the Four Seasons Island Resort, they are in Pembine, Wisconsin. They have many things going on. You still get plenty of time to get up there and do the ATV and UTV trails. You can play some golf. You can rent a pontoon. You can do some kayaking. Plenty of things outdoors to do. Indoors, you have the big indoor swimming pool and the hot tub and the saunas and all that kind of stuff. They now have on-site salon services as well. Those are back. Really good food in the Diamond Room, obviously downstairs in the Boundary Waters Bar and Grill as well. But if you want a discount, and I've always said, if it's not free, it's for me. Give me a discount. But the only way to get it is by saying Bill Michaels 15. So get a hold of our girl Barb, BARB, at the4seasonswisconsin.com. BARB, Barb, at the4seasonswisconsin.com, or you can call and reserve your room right now, whether you're going to go up for a day, going to take some people from work with you, going to take that significant other, friends, family, whatever it happens to be, kids. 715-324-5800. That's 715-324-5800. Such a cool place. It just is. It's historic. It's where the mobsters used to hang out from years gone by. They'd go up there to be away and sit on the island and kind of be segregated from the rest of society, so to speak. And they left their henchmen at the entrances to make sure nobody came onto the island and bothered them. And there's a whole history there. It's just really a very historic place. So give them a call, 715-324-5800. And it's not far from our friends at Forgotten Fire Winery. It's about 45, 50 minutes away. So you can always take a trip down to Peshtigo and go to the winery, but go to the4seasonswisconsin.com. Get a hold of our girl Barb. You're good to go. So Mason Crosby talking to the media. First of all, does he think that he's going to be back soon, coming back from that knee surgery? Will he be ready in time for week 1 on the road in Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hitting all the marks. So, as of right now, this is 6 weeks out. So that was kind of the goal, was to be kind of progressing and kicking more at this point. And, I hit a set inside today and, felt really good. And so I'm just going to kind of keep building off of that. But, yeah, the goal is obviously to be full go and ready to go by week 1.
So the next question is, he had to have the knee surgery. We know that. Was there ever a time that there was some genuine concern after this knee surgery that maybe he wouldn't be able to go, that it's going to take more time to heal?
Well, I mean, you're always just kind of trying to, push all that, all those thoughts out of the back, out of your mind, because, ultimately it is, it's a tight time frame and it's something that, I'm pushing really hard to make happen. So, for me, it's just, what are my goals? How am I going to, try to achieve those? And, just trying to take each day, as it is, it's like, all right, how's the body feel? How's the knee feel? I can control my mindset and I can control those things. So I'm definitely, leaning into that, making sure that the controllables are all very positive and in place, and then just keep pushing forward. So all of that negative thought of like could I not be ready? All that stuff is just that's what it is. It's negative, and it's not not the mindset I'm having.
Not productive when you start thinking about whether or not it will or will not happen. Just keep venturing forward and efforting forward towards getting back to full health. Now, the next question is, with not being able to do the normal training camp, we'll say, what is the leg strength going to be? Remember, we have not seen him outside doing a lot. We saw him kicking a soccer ball not that long ago, but everything he's doing, a lot of those rehab players, they do it inside. They do it inside the Hudson Center while everybody is outside on the Ray Nitschke Field, because they keep rehab very, very private. So we don't know to what extent Mason Crosby either has or hasn't been kicking and what he's been doing, but is the concern more so the leg strength? Is that what it's going to determine whether or not you're ready to kick in games?
Yeah, I think it's some of it's leg strength, but it's more just being able to know that I can go through a whole game and a whole season, and know that my stamina and like the stuff is there, and that I'm not going to have restriction in my motion. So like today felt really good. Felt like I was able to hit a really good set. I think I hit like 30 balls and backed it up pretty solid. And so for me, it's going to be all right. How does it feel tomorrow? How does it feel the next day? And and then going from there. So just trying to be really truthful with myself and like what my body is telling me, and and then pushing it as hard as I can.
So there you go. A little discussion and a real quick glimpse as to the insight as to what's going on. He's kicking. He kicked 30 balls, kept backing it up. So you would assume you're never going to kick that many, obviously, in a regular game, unless, of course, you're absolutely positively terrible or you're scoring almost at will. But that being said, a guy that's going to be turning 38 next month, the final year of his contract, 16th NFL season for the Packers, and then having a little bit of surgery on the right knee. So, I mean, it's takes a little time, but the good news is that he at least sounds like he's hitting all the marks, so to speak. So how does he think when he starts to look across to some of the competition? How does he think the 27-year-old, the place kicker Ramiz Ahmed did against the Saints on Friday night?
He had a great game. I thought he kicked really well in the game, and he's a good young guy. I think he's actually been out for a little bit, so he's had some experience in the USFL. So it's been good getting to know him and just seeing how he works and trying to help him through the process of what it is to go through an NFL training camp.
So the special teams obviously was an area of contention last year, and I think. Because somebody over on the Bud Light live stream said, so does Crosby now blame the knee rather than the snap at the time? Crosby never blamed anybody. Crosby didn't say anything other than he missed kicks. He didn't say anything. I think others like myself have said it. When you look at it, when you watch it slowed down, when you watch the actual film of special teams, of some of the problems they had, and the realization from some of the coaching staff that, this whole process was not good. And the one thing that's been consistent over the years has been Mason Crosby. When everything else started to go awry, he never blamed anybody. I think we all then realized what was going on. So now that you've got a new special teams coordinator in Rich Bisaccia, what is it like? What is it like being with this guy and the new mentality of special teams?
Man, that's a broad question. He's
a coach.
He's been great. He's extremely, consistent. I really like the way he teaches and coaches in the meeting space. So I feel like guys are really responding well to his style and, kind of his expectations and the accountability that he puts out there, in that room. So we have a lot of veteran guys, a lot of, starters that are, contributing, here in practice throughout camp, making sure that they're trying to help to make these units as good as possible. And that definitely stems from Coach Bisaccia.
So you've got a veteran, 16-year NFL veteran like Mason Crosby, who's pretty much seen it all, been there, done that, gone through the ups and downs. So what does Rich Bisaccia, what does he offer as far as knowledge, wisdom, what have you, to a guy that's been around 16 years and is now coming even through leg surgery, knee surgery after all of this? What kind of, wisdom does he offer Mason Crosby?
It's just it's always good to kind of have like a shift in mindset. You do something long enough. I think he's done a good job of just continually to have conversations about what we're trying to accomplish this year and expectations. And I'm very appreciative of that open and honest communication. That we're trying to build something really special on the defense side of the ball. And I want to be a big part of that. And so, that communication has been, really solid. And he's just a super confident human being that, knows exactly what he wants. And I definitely like that. There's just no guessing where you stand with Rich. And so that's been real positive.
So there you go. Some of the spotlight cuts from Mason Crosby and his conversation with the media. But the good news is that one, he believes he's going to be ready to go come the Vikings game. And two, now we get a glimpse into what he's actually been doing, because a lot of the times, like I mentioned, you don't get to see it behind closed doors, but he is kicking. He is kicking the football. He is hitting his marks. He is, like he said, kicked 30 of them the other day and kept backing it up, felt the leg strength was good. So all of that good news in the realm of the kicking game for Mason Crosby and company. So good stuff there. 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, drop us an email as well. I got a couple emails to get to this portion of the program, brought to you by our friends at Stenny's, second and national, Walker's Point, Milwaukee's best sports bar, award-winning Bloody Marys, shuttles to the game, best wings you're ever going to stick in your grill, the home of the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread as well, whether it's Packers, Brewers, Bucks, Admirals, Marquette, UWM, you name it, Badgers. They have got the shuttle buses going to many, many games and many contests. So if you're looking for the best sports bar in Milwaukee and kind of the cheers of Milwaukee when you come to town, no matter where you're at or if you're in town, make it Stenny, second and national, Walker's Point, and say hi to Ryan and everybody down there in LJ. Just good people. Natalie's probably behind the bar right now, as a matter of fact. Stop down, tell them we said hi. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Now, a training camp update. In Green Bay, here's Mike Clemens.
The Packers practiced yesterday, getting ready for tomorrow night's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Rookie receiver Christian Watson has been at practice now the past 3 days. I asked him about the possibility of getting his first snaps in Kansas City.
If I do play, it'd be my first game. I mean, the energy would be there regardless. If I was playing at, any stadium, it's definitely, a huge opportunity to, play at a, infamous stadium. And, it's my first one, so it'll be energetic regardless.
Amari Rodgers is battling for a spot on that list of wide receivers and was asked if he's excited about playing against the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just knowing that it's Arrowhead, for sure. Just to know that the environment that they have. Last year we played there and it was a night game, so, it was pretty lit. Jordan's first start and stuff, so it was a big game for us. So I got a feel of it last year. I'm kind of knowing what to expect, especially it being a night game.
Now, the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Head coach Andy Reid was asked if he's been pleased so far by free agents Juju Smith-Schuster and former Packers wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Yeah, the guys are playing fast, and we were short a couple guys in there too, so we had some younger guys in. I like what I'm seeing. We've got to keep getting better. This is preseason, so we've got to keep building on this. But I do like the speed. A priority to go get some guys that could run, and that's what you're seeing.
That's Chiefs head coach Andy Reid in Green Bay. I'm Mike Clemens on the Bill Michaels Show.
Glad to have you back. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Here's a piece of news and information. Since the signing, if you will, of Kevin Durant, or at least, the uncertainty is now over. Durant's going back to the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have risen dramatically when it comes to their odds to win the NBA championship. They went from 40-1 to 15-2. They are considered the fourth odds-on favorite to win it all. Boston at number 1, Milwaukee number 2, Golden State number 3, Brooklyn number 4, the Clippers number 5, Phoenix number 6, the Lakers number 7. I don't know how. Miami number 8, Philadelphia number 9, and the Denver Nuggets coming in at 20-1 at the 10th best odds, them and the Mavericks, to win it all in the NBA coming up in 2022, 2023. So just a little bit of an NBA note. By the way, the college football odds to win it all: Alabama number 1, Ohio State number 2, Alabama 2-3 odds, Ohio State 7-4, Georgia 2-1, Clemson 5-2. You go all the way down. Wisconsin, they are tied with Florida, LSU, North Carolina State, Oregon, Penn State, and then Wisconsin, all at 40-1 odds to win it all. You've got Ole Miss, Tennessee at 50-1 right behind them. Just ahead of that group is Michigan at 33-1, Utah and Notre Dame at 22-1, Oklahoma and Miami, the U, at 18-1, Texas 14-1, Texas A&M 11-1. Then it goes on up from there. But that is your odds for college football. So some of the odds and ends regarding Kevin Durant, and then obviously college football. Now that the ranking systems are out, the schedules have been taken into consideration. That is from our friend Jimmy Shapiro and betonline.ag. That's betonline.ag. You can read their stuff there. It's all brought to you by our friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. And if you are a Firekeeper Club member, today is the day you go down there. You double up your points. Good stuff from our friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Love them. And a big-time sponsor now of the motorcycle ride coming up on Sunday, September 4th. So look for that as well. But thanks to Jimmy for sending that over. So just some notes, just some news and notes. Nothing huge. Hey, by the way, we were talking about the backup running back position coming up in the next hour. Patrick Taylor and Tyler Goodson. Patrick Taylor and Tyler Goodson both spoke to the media, along with the Packers safety Adrian Amos. So we're going to hear from him as well. Just a few things to discuss. So we're going to get into that coming up here a little bit later on in the next hour as we discuss as well. So a lot of stuff there. This is from Gene. Gene says, are you coming out to La Crosse this year for the keg tapping? Isn't that the golden can or the golden keg or something like that? You know what? We're currently solidifying some dates to come back. So the answer to your question is yes. I just don't have all the specifics as of yet. We will. And I just today, I had to let, as a matter of fact, for the travel schedule, to let Ernie know, our buddy out in Viroqua. I had announced last week we were coming on the 22nd and 23rd. We had to take that back, unfortunately. So now we're going to be there on the 29th and 30th, a week later than first anticipated because of some scheduling conflicts. So we're going to be in Viroqua on the 29th and the 30th. We'll be in all over. I mean, the travel schedule's crazy. But next, I'm going to be in Cedarburg, Wisconsin this coming Saturday. On Monday, we're going to be down at Geneva National, down in the Grand Geneva or Lake Geneva area. And then we're going to be at Wednesday Night Live back in Milwaukee on Wednesday night. Going to be in Minnesota, going up to Minnesota for the Packers opener against the Vikings. Going to be broadcasting in Minnesota. We'll be there on the 10th, and then the post-game show on the 11th. We'll be in, I think, Chippewa Falls on the 12th, La Crosse on the 13th, Tomahawk, Wisconsin on the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. We'll be in Green Bay on the 18th, and then it kind of goes from there. Did you write all that down, Ebo?
Yeah, my head's spinning over here, Bill.
Yeah, it's quite the travel schedule, man.
I gotta write it all down and pass it to Ben so we make sure he's got everything accommodated for you.
Yeah, it's there's a lot going on. Yeah, we got a lot happening here towards the end of September, and then once we get through September, then finally, I think things just settle down. The cigar dinners are pretty much done. Unless we do something else, we put something else in the books. I think it's just then the regular show, Wednesday night huddle, and Packers games. I think we're just back to our normal, non-crazy schedule. But yeah, boy, we're all we racked up the miles. COVID pretty much stymied everything. Last year, we started to come out of it a little bit, and then this year we have put on. I was adding this up a couple of days ago because I keep track of it when we're traveling. We've done just over 21,000 miles. It's like 21,012 or something like that miles that we've put on the vehicle this year. Whether it's the truck, which by the way, thanks to Kunis for getting us for the rest of our charity events, the RV or the car itself. So just over 21,012 miles, I think is what.
Got to figure out how much you paid in gas for that.
Yeah, that's the gas for the RV. Thank God, Quick Trip takes care of because that gets 7 miles.
There you go.
Gallon.
Thank you.
7 miles to the gallon for Quick Trip, but everything else, yeah, that's a chunk, no doubt about it. But we still have more traveling to do, so we love doing it. And at some point, we'll get back up into the Menominee Marinette area. We want to get to Platteville at some point as well. Want to head down to a UW Whitewater game again this year. And we still didn't get a chance to do everything we wanted to do. I still have never been to Door County. You ever been to Door County?
Get up there, man.
I've never been.
Yeah, many times. Great.
I've never been. I still got to get up to Door County. So got to do that as well. Stay tuned. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this. Welcome back to Bill Michaels Show. Halfway through it on a Wednesday. Gary says, I feel bad for the holders and snappers and coordinators surrounding Mason Crosby. Why? Do you believe it's Crosby? I mean, what are you seeing, Gary, that I'm not? And that's what I don't understand. You just see the result of a missed kick. You don't see you don't see it, don't want to see it, or don't understand the process. When it comes to the discussion of, quote, scapegoats. Do I believe he missed some kicks? Absolutely. But I also know that you cannot have the laces go sideways or the ball's going to pull in that direction. The further out you are, the further the ball's going to drift. I mean, I understand just the mere physics of that. The gravitational pull of that. It's real. So I don't know. The whole thing about, well, he doesn't kick it into the end zone. Well, when he does, people say, well, he kicked it into the end zone. So he only can. I always ask myself, did he not kick it into the end zone, or are they asking for him to kick it into a corner and allow the sideline to be the 12th man and for a specific scheme downfield in coverage? Or are you just saying, kick it out of the end zone? John says Crosby is fickle, laces out. Every kicker is. There's no kicker that wants the laces side to side. Not one. Not one. You either have them straight forward or straight back. And straight back's not ideal because you don't want the laces coming off of the foot, which can cause the ball to trickle in one of the other directions. And you say, you speak of laces, I'm pretty sure you can adjust for the lace position at the last second if it's off. No, you can't. No, you can't, because usually before the ball is even placed down, you're already on your way. You guys have no clue. And I hate to say this because I don't really rip listeners or viewers. You have absolutely no freaking clue what the hell you're talking about. None. None. It is a process. When the ball is snapped, as the ball is snapped, you're already taking your first step. As the ball is placed down, your foot is already pretty much in swing, which is why that process has to be perfect. It has to be flawless. You can't have hesitation. It is a motion. It's a fluid symphony of motion. It's not herky-jerky. You can't do that. That breeds inconsistency. That's what they had last year. Last year, Bojorquez didn't put the ball down right, didn't get it off to the side. Look, are they fickle? Absolutely. It's got to be done a certain way. But you know that. Most holders know that. I still don't like the fact that they have the punter be the holder. I still think it would be so much better if you have the backup quarterback who handles a football as your holder, but many teams have gotten away from that for whatever reason. But it is a process. Just an FYI, it's I don't know. Some people think it's just easy. Go out there and kick, no big deal. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, by all means. Adam says you got to golf Alpine Resort in Egg Harbor. Blue Tees, 9th hole. Absolutely beautiful. You stand up there overlooking Green Bay, and it really just does take your breath away. Get to Door County ASAP. I've never been, and boy, he sends me a picture too. It's stunning. I agree. I never been. I got to get there. Maybe somebody is listening to the program that can now look. Maybe AJ Dillon's listening to the program. Apparently, he's the mayor of Door County, the unofficial mayor. I got to get up there. I agree with that. What do you like best up there, Evo? Do you play golf?
Oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't say I play golf. I attempt to play golf, but Bill, up there, my brother, he married into a family. So my sister-in-law, there's an island up there that AJ Dillon now has married into a family. So on this island, Chambers Island. You got to get there and you got to take a boat there. It's like a 45-minute ride. And there's a cabin, house on there that my sister-in-law has. Her family owns half the island. AJ Dillon actually is married into the family that has a cabin just on the same island. So everyone rides around in golf carts and you go party on the beach and have fun. So that's really cool. There's really great parks up there. You know, if you go in the right amount of time when all the cherries are either popping or the foliage is in the fall, it's really beautiful. It's just really clean and crisp and nice camping and just good to get away.
See, that's always what I've been told is to go up in the fall, and that's usually Packer season. So I always say, okay, this will be the year I go, but then the schedule doesn't permit it, so I've never been.
Yeah.
So I gotta get up there. It's
just beautiful up there. It's just water and green and just nice to get away.
There is a couple of spots in the state that I have not been. I have not been to Superior, Duluth, and I have not been to the Apostle Islands. I was close, but I was not there. And I've never been to Door County. Those are like the 3 areas I haven't been. Everything else, I think I've either driven through, eaten at, spent time in, golfed in, whatever. Everything else, I think I've pretty much done.
Go up to Door County, they got Peninsula State Park. I camped at for a couple of nights. It was really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of the summer before football started. Because once football starts, our lives are dedicated to football. Yeah. Right. So Peninsula State Park is beautiful. There's a lot of cool wineries and nice places to eat and stuff. It's just
my assumption is there's a lot of Airbnbs up there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I'll have to track one down. Maybe I'll do that. Sounds good.
You canoeing, man? You go kayaking, canoeing?
I'm pretty big for a canoe, but I'll play golf. I'll do the wineries. I'll do what we like to do is because we don't necessarily sit down, do big dinners. So we'll go in and get whatever your premier app is, for some of the nicer restaurants, so to speak. They'll have we went down, they had these bacon wrapped scallops down at Tuscan down in Lake Geneva. They're fantastic. So we go there for that. But we don't do full meals all the time because otherwise by the time you eat a full meal, you're just dragging ass. You just want to go home, take your pants off and go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
check out Wild Tomato. There's a place up there called Wild Tomato. It's wood-fired pizza. It's really cool little spot.
Okay. I am a pizza connoisseur. I can do that. ESPN's our buddy ESPN Steve says over on the Bud Light live stream, he says the only thing bad about Door County is all the fibs.
Oh, I was just going to say that. This is just fib central. Yes. Dude. It's like a hive of them.
Yeah, that is Door County and Lake Geneva are the two most populated areas that could be annexed to Illinois because that's just covered with. And my son works down in the Lake Geneva area as a police officer. And, he's kind of the new man on the totem pole and he works third shift. I said, what do you deal with? He said, well, we deal with a lot of the main stuff. He said, but mainly it's, and this is coming from him, he said it's really drunk Illinois people that think Wisconsin is like a subculture. Like they really can't. They really can't get into trouble for this stuff. They come up here to just get stupid because they don't do it at home, so they think that they're not going to get into trouble for certain things up here. He said, Dad, I can't tell you how many people drink and drive that we pull over, and they really can't believe they're getting arrested. Like they get pissed that they're getting arrested in Wisconsin for drinking and driving. He said,
no, they're the worst.
He said he had one guy argue with him like, well, this isn't even Illinois. And he said, so what? He said the guy was so drunk. He just couldn't believe he was being arrested for drunken driving because he was in Wisconsin. Oh. And so he said, that's the mentality though, that they can come up here, do whatever they want, and then go back to Illinois and go back to their normal everyday lives.
Oh, dude, the worst is like if you do go up to Door County and you're looking at a beautiful sunset. There's, you're looking at Lake Michigan. You got all the trees waving in the wind, and then you just see this knuckle dragger with hairy back and he's got the navy and orange on. Yeah. It's like, oh God, where's a bear to maul? Where's an actual bear to maul him when you need it?
Yeah, that's. I think that's why a lot of us like the Tomahawk area. Lake Nokomis and going up into that direction, up in the Minocqua area, because there's not a lot of that over there. Even though you don't have the lake on that side, you got the Great North Woods in the middle of the state, the central portion of the state, so you don't get a lot.
It's like, look, honey, it's a drunk bear, and actually, that's just a Bears fan. That's just a guy from Illinois.
Speaking of bears, have you ever when I go to the Tomahawk area, I take my pedal bike with me, and there's an area up in it's Saint Germain. Saint Germain is the home of the. Did you know we had the house for the Snowmobile Hall of Fame?
I had no idea.
Did you know that? Okay.
No,
So I go to Saint Germain, and in Saint Germain they've got a bike path, and on the bike path are signs that says, beware of bears, and bears can run up to 35, 40 miles an hour. And I'm thinking, I'm pedaling a bike at 20 to 25. How the hell do you get away from a running bear? And, you always see somebody on the thing that says, any bears out there? You better run. I said, I only need to be faster than you. That's it. Because once they catch your big ass, I don't have to worry about it because they're going to feast on you for a while. But yeah, they got bears up in the North Woods area.
Yeah, they're quick too, man. I've always wondered if I ever stumble on a bear, like, what the hell do you do? Because if you run away, you're going to get got. Like,
right.
What do you do?
Yep. No doubt. Good stuff. By the way, Andrew says, are you going on the road for Packers post-game show when they're on the road this year, like you did last year? We are going to do something. And last year I did not get to the Bluegill Bar. We are going to get to the Bluegill Bar this year. I have not made the arrangements yet, but we will. Yes, we're going to do one. And then maybe we'll do another contest for another one. But we're going to do something on the road. We're going to do a couple of road games this year. We're going to be at the Ewing Hotel in Minneapolis for the Packers on the road, taking on the Vikings. We are going to be at the Sheridan 4 Points in the Shy Bar this year for the Packers and Bears postgame show down in Chicago. So we're covering a couple of road games. I don't know about the rest as of yet. No, we're not going to London. We've decided against that because I can pretty much pay off my house for what they wanted to charge us to go to London. So there you go. But yeah, we're going to be on the road for a few games, and then we're going to do a few games out and about at different maybe establishments, we'll say. And then a couple of games we're probably just going to be at home, some of those late night games. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time this year. No doubt about it. When we come back, we're going to hear from Adrian Amos, the secondary, the safety for the Green Bay Packers. Going to hear from him. Also coming up in a little bit, got a couple of the guys trying to make the squad as running backs. You're going to hear from them as well. So stay tuned for all of that. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at the Social House. Great for watching any sporting event in a cozy atmosphere, but the food is fantastic. The highly acclaimed cheese curd burger. That's awesome. And get this, you get to buy a drink on a Sunday morning, and then you get free pancakes. So if you got your pregame on, that might be the best place to go. Our friend at the Social House, HAUS on Lisbon Road, Menominee Falls. Stop in, tell Dan Della, Allison, the whole staff, we said howdy. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Catch all the racing action at Road America. Camping and corporate events available as well. Go to roadamerica.com for all the information. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. I did not know this. Jason hits me up on the Bud Light live stream and he says, hey, Unit, did you know that elephants run up to 25 miles an hour? Yeah, if you get tracked down by an elephant, you're not trying. They got bigger steps, though. It's like rhinos. Rhinos can run really fast, too. That's one of the biggest, baddest beasts on the planet. So there you go. Oh, yeah. Big time. I don't know why we got into we were talking about bears chasing you down, but not Chicago Bears either. Just an FYI. Adrian Amos, safety for your Green Bay Packers. He had a little bit of a Q&A with not much, but a little bit of a Q&A. Says, when you talk about making veterans play in the preseason, last year there was a few guys, they played in the preseason, but not much. And he talked with the media about whether or not to play or not to play in the preseason. And last year would not have been really, it would not have prevented in his mind, because we talked about this when they got drilled by the Saints 38-3. He said, look, putting the veterans in the last game of the preseason, that wasn't going to stop that onslaught that they faced down there in Jacksonville.
The first game was in Jacksonville. It was 115 degrees. We was going to be tired whether we played the last preseason game or not. If you want to say that fatigue was a factor. I don't think we were sluggish. We went out and got beat. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that you could say, oh, well, if you had played 3 snaps, which we probably would have played in the third preseason games, we would have been able to last longer. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you could pick out and be like, yeah, we should have played.
Adrian Amos was asked about the Chiefs, and says preseason games like the Chiefs, it's especially the last game of your preseason, and you don't have 4 of them anymore. You know who your starters are. He said this is just a great game, a great opportunity for the guys that are trying to make the squad, basically the backup players.
I think preseason is a great opportunity for a lot of guys that don't get a lot of reps in games to be able to go, because you know how the season goes and how the NFL is. They're going to have to be out there. It might not be week 1, but week 10 come in, if somebody go down, you right in there. So, I think it's good for that as well.
So training camp basically over now. They're going into the final preseason game coming up tomorrow night. After that, you start to get in your schedule. You start to get into your routine. And they're going to work you a little bit, but then you really kind of hit it hard the following week. So how does he feel physically, and how does he feel about the defense week 1 at the Minnesota Vikings?
I feel great. It's really like it really, you want to take everything day by day, but it's also a countdown to that first game, getting out there and improving what we can do. Getting into game plan and stuff like that. I think that's when it becomes even more fun. Just when you're going out to practice and I'm game planning for somebody, I'm watching for this, I'm watching for that. So it's the excitement of the season started.
I know that we had a debate prior to preseason about how much starters should or shouldn't play, how much they need to get on the same page, specifically the offensive side of the football. And many of you, after Matt LaFleur announced he was not going to play the starters in this final preseason game, said, how do you think now? Do you think that they should? I have said all along, I thought they should, but it's got to be meaningful. Whether it's a half of a game or, 2 halves of 2 games, I thought that is probably the best. The fact that they did have the joint practices with the Saints is okay. Aaron Rodgers just drilled it and said he doesn't like it. Everybody plays vanilla. There's nothing there to really gain other than maybe watching your receivers fight with the guy across from them to try to get open just to be able to see who can do what. But beyond that, you're not garnering a whole lot. And so anyway, long story short is, do I feel that they should play? Yes. I understand the risk versus the reward. If you get beat up, if you get a guy injured, you're going to be crucified. Why is he in there? I think there is a time to be able to play guys, not just a couple of series, but maybe for a half. But obviously there is always going to be that risk. I don't know how to deter the risk, whether it's in a joint practice or in a game or in regular practice. The old adage is, if you're trying to play not to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. I think you just get in, you go all out, you do the best you can, you try to hone your ability, and you go from there. The other thought, which is becoming more and more prevalent via the collective bargaining agreements and the Players Association, is you only have so many hits in your body. You only have so many hits you're going to take before you say, I can't take it anymore. So why take those hits in what's considered to be, quote, meaningless games or meaningless situations? Because the only way you learn is to do it and to try to learn from your mistakes and get better, in my opinion. So you and I are probably on the same page in a lot of this, but we're never going to win this argument. Not anymore. The days of playing guys, double sessions, starters going, those days are gone. They're gone, and they're gone forever. Now it is all about getting ready via the training camp. It's all about getting ready via reps against your guy, inter-squad practices, all that kind of stuff. That's it. That's it. And it's also about the first 3-4 weeks of the season really getting on the same page, when really those first 3-4 games of the regular season would be games normally that you'd be getting your team ready in, say, the situation for preseason. But then again, going back to what Adrian Amos said, is it's a good time for a lot of these backups to get the reps that they're not normally going to get when it does come to playing meaningful reps and starts and such. Plus, it gives guys that are on the bubble and a little bit of extra time to shine. So you can make an argument to both sides. I think if there was not an injury risk, you'd see starters out there playing every damn snap. But the problem is with injury, teams don't want to do it. Teams don't want to do it. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. 877-867-1670. Wayne says, do you think Aaron Rodgers should have played in a preseason game or two with these young wide receivers? He keeps talking about teaching them, but yet he's not doing it on the field of battle. Wayne, yes, to answer your question. I think, and again, this is a little bit different. If this is 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, probably not. But considering that the sense of urgency is so high right now, because you don't know if this is Aaron Rodgers last year. You don't know if it's next year or the year after. You don't know. And you know that you've pushed a lot of money via contracts, kicked the can down the highway, because you're trying to, quote, go all in. Now, have they done that? To the best of their ability monetarily. To the best of their ability they have. I don't think they didn't have, $20, $30, $50 million laying around to go out and get 2 more big name guys out of the free agent market to be wideouts for Aaron Rodgers or bolster the defense. They've done, I think, in my opinion, a really good job. I think they did a really good job both in draft and in what they've done with the team this season. I think right now you've got a giant question mark in David Bakhtiari coming back. You're hoping if he does, and you have Elton Jenkins comes back, and these guys get up to speed relatively quick, say by game 3, then you have what's considered to be probably one of the best offensive lines in all of football, protecting Aaron Rodgers, opening up holes for the running backs, giving him an extra second or two to be able to get rid of the football for other guys to get open, I think things are going to be okay. If Bakhtiari can't come back and Josh Nijman is used at left tackle, and God forbid he go down, all of a sudden you're looking at a very a moved around, piecemealed offensive line. If Elton Jenkins goes down, I mean, you're going to lose a lineman or two along the way. You know that for a short period of time. You hope it's nothing that's season ending, but it seems like every year you're going to lose one guy. You hope that you don't lose that depth, and that line goes from being one of the best things it could possibly be to being the Achilles heel of an offense that's already trying to figure itself out. So there's a sense of urgency here, and I think the Packers did the best they could. Brian Gutekunst, I think, did a great job this offseason, him and Russ Ball, and trying to figure out the money situation. And then getting Aaron Rodgers back in, getting him under a number that they could swallow, and getting him in and being happy. I think they've done a lot. But now we just got to wait and see if it equates to wins on the football field. So, but because of the sense of urgency, I think this year, yes, to answer your question, a long way to go from point A to point B. But to answer your question, yes, I think that Rodgers and company should have been together. And if indeed this is it, you don't take it half-assed and say, oh, I'll get there when I get there. Oh, Randall Cobb can coach the guys. Oh, excuse me. Oh, guys will get up to speed in the film room. And then when I walk in, everything will be great. When I walk in, I'll teach them. No, that's again, putting yourself on a pedestal that you're just that good that you don't need to do anything. You're right. You don't. But the guys around you need to get used to you and vice versa. And that can't be taught by Randall Cobb. That can't be taught by a head coach. That can't be taught by your position coach. That's only taught by you being there. So that is my criticism, and that would be it. 877-867-1670. Gary says getting Aaron Rodgers in under a number that they could swallow. Yeah, for this year. Absolutely. This year, Rodgers isn't making $50 million, so to speak. I don't know. His number goes up exponentially next year. If I'm not mistaken, Rodgers' cap hit this year is only $28 million. Next year it goes up. It's crazy. But this year it doesn't. Next year, it's $28 million this year, $31 million next year, 40.7 the year after that, 59 in 2025, and 53 in 2026. That's his numbers. Now, his dead cap money, should he walk away at the end of this season, $99 million the year after. That's why I've said, I think, in my opinion, Rodgers is here for this year and next year. This year and next year. The year after that, they pay him 40.7, but his cap hit, his dead money would be 24.4. So in essence, you'd gain $16 million if you decided to cut him loose then. Whereas the year after that, it's 59.3. Dead cap money's only 16. And in 2026, it's 53 million. Dead cap money's only 8. Because he would be, by the time this contract culminates to be a free agent, he would be 42 years old. 43 years old, really, actually. Going into free agency, he'd be 44 years old. And he's already said he doesn't want to play until he's 45. So that's out of the question. Right? We shall see. When we come back, going to hear a little bit more from the running backs trying to make this team. Stay tuned for that. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends down there at San Giorgio Napolitana Pizzeria and our friends at the Calderon Club, Gino and the gang. I am going to be down that way tonight. Not going to eat there. I would love to, but I can't. But I think I'm making my way down on Friday. It's been far too long since I've been there, and I cannot wait. I've been kind of craving the chicken marsala down there and the spaghetti and meatballs and the lasagna. I can go on and on. Or the pizza from next door. Maybe I just do both. Maybe I do the chicken marsala or the penne pasta, order the Bill Michaels, and then get the pizza to take home, eat that the next day because it's just as good. But either way, you can't go wrong down at San Giorgio or Calderon Club, and they pair it up with Cider Boys from Point. So no matter what you do down there, you can't go wrong. That's our friend Gino and the gang down at Calderon Club in San Giorgio, Old World 3rd Street, downtown Milwaukee, right across the street from the Hyatt. Right across the street from the Hyatt. Can't miss it. Both great Italian restaurants. Great Italian restaurants. Stop in and tell them we said hi. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's all coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin isn't snobby, snooty, or pretentious. It's Midwestern charm at its finest. And that's exactly what Forgotten Fire Winery in Peshtigo is all about. Fun in a bottle without the attitude. You can find their full wine and cider lineup in their tasting room or in liquor and grocery stores throughout the state. The winery is a great place to get away for wine and cider tastings, great live music, and private events all year long. Remember, any time is a great time for Forgotten Fire wines and ciders. Wisconsin wine made from Wisconsin people. If you're in or near Humbird, Wisconsin, check out a family success story with a good old-fashioned farm store. Go to ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That's ScholzeFamilyBeef.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Got to say thanks to our friends at Quick Trip. Love me some Quick Trip. Did not get there today, though. Did not get there today, oddly enough. Went and picked up the new truck yesterday and filled it up at Quick Trip. The first fill up in the new truck, so I was liking that. But stop in there all the time. And there's still time through the end of the month to stop in and get your Mountain Dew and possibly win yourself some, first of all, extra plays by using your Quick Rewards card, and possibly win yourself some cash and prizes as the summer begins to wind down. But Mountain Dew's still giving it away, and they're giving it away through Quick Trip. Go to Quick Trip, stop in, use the Quick Rewards card. You are good to go. That's from our friends at Quick Trip. Ebo, do you remember Aaron Rodgers being terrible when he first burst onto the scene?
Yeah. Well, I guess
Really?
well, not terrible, but by Rodgers standard, I remember him being like his first year. You're like, all right, this guy needs a little work, but it was his rookie year.
Right. I remember that. I remember that season with the bringbackbrett.com website and Rodgers taking all the grief. And I remember the seasons prior to that where Rodgers had opportunities. He played in the game against New England after breaking his foot on the second play of the second half and played the rest of the game. I remember Favre looking terrible in Dallas and Rodgers basically bringing him back. And had they had another 5-6 minutes on the clock, they probably would have won that game. As bad as Favre looked, Rodgers looked dominant. That really raised a lot of eyebrows. And then I remember Rodgers' first year under center taking everything. And I remember a lot of glimpses of good. And there was some growing pains, obviously, but the team had also coming off of the NFC Championship game. They lost a few players, and then the tumultuous offseason and Favre retiring and then unretiring and then coming back and then everything going on. We kind of figured the season wouldn't be good. And then I remember the 8-8 season where they got back to even, and it really looked like things were going to start taking off for Rodgers, and they did. So this whole thing about Rodgers was terrible for 3 and 4 years, and I don't ever remember terrible. I just never do.
Definitely wasn't terrible. It was more of along the lines of like, what do we have here? Because there's moments where you're like, damn, this guy's going to be good. Then other times it was like, okay, it looks a little raw, but I don't remember thinking terrible.
Yeah.
I remember missing Brett Favre. I miss Brett Favre. Don't get me wrong, which because I was in love. But never thought Rodgers was terrible.
I think we looked at Rodgers as he wasn't Favre. So people thought he was terrible. And I looked at him as he was better than Favre. But you didn't dare say it because it was like sacrilege. But I looked at him as a lot smarter. And the whole thing about Favre, and this was the one thing that really you couldn't say if you were a broadcaster in this state. Favre had this strong arm, and they used to call him country. When Glavine used to have him throw the football into the top of the stadium when he played for Atlanta because his arm was so strong. He could gun it anywhere. And then you would start to do these drills. You'd see these drills with Favre and Rodgers in practice, these 70-yard drills, and Favre would throw it 70 yards in the air, and he would come close or maybe hit the the frame around the net or something like that game they used to play. And Favre would hit and be like, oh, my God, look at him launch it. And then Rodgers would not only throw it, but he'd drop it in the bucket. And we all went, wow, wait a minute. And you saw it. I never remember Rodgers being terrible. In comparison to Favre and the success immediate, yeah, it wasn't great. But I never remember terrible. I've got people that are emailing me. I know Grant Bills talked a little bit about this as well, but they were saying, yeah, Rodgers was terrible his first 3 years. Why are we coming down so hard on Jordan Love? It's like, I'm not coming down on Jordan Love. I don't see the consistency. I saw for the first time in the game on Friday night consistency. Beyond that, I haven't seen it. I'm just being honest. Out of Rodgers, it wasn't the consistency of always playing great. It was the consistency of great play week after week. You'd always see 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 flashes of wow, and you didn't get that a lot other than when Favre played. You would get people that would go, holy mackerel, only he could do that. And you started seeing that out of Aaron Rodgers. And then you would start to go, wow, he's pretty good. Wow, he's really good. Wow, he could be great. And you heard that and you saw that. So it's not that I'm coming down on Jordan Love, and people tend to think that we pound on Jordan Love all the time. That's not it. It's just that I never remember Rodgers being terrible the way some people say he was terrible, because I think that's an over-dramatization, and I think you're full of crap. He was never terrible. When we come back, I want to get into the backup running backs who are trying to make this team, and whether or not they're going to make this team, we'll have to wait and see. But you've got Patrick Taylor and Tyler Goodson both trying to make this squad. We're going to hear from these guys when we come back. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up, this portion of the program, brought to you by our good friends over there at the Sunset Grill on Pewaukee Lake. The Sunset Grill. Go over and say hi to Trish and the staff. I just saw some pictures they posted the other day over on Facebook. Yeah, it looked like a good group of people. But if you're going to go for a place to watch the game, maybe watch the sunset a little bit, you can do that. The docks are still in. Still plenty of time to take the boat out, roll up, get yourself some beverages, go out and enjoy the rest of the day on the water. Good stuff over in Pewaukee Lake. Or ride over there, for that matter. You can ride the motorcycle over there. It's a nice ride through that area. But stop at the Sunset Grill on Pewaukee Lake. That's the Sunset Grill on Pewaukee Lake. More to come, a lot more to come right after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
One of the worst things that you can hear, you have cancer. The worst is when you hear the words, your child has cancer. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, it changes their world. Sometimes they can't even do things that they really love, like playing soccer, riding a bike, going to prom, attending school. Children with cancer spend a lot of time away from others, time in the hospital, treatments, tired, nauseous, and they feel isolated. That's where Special Spaces Wisconsin steps in. They provide these children with a special space where they can not only sleep, but they can play, they can heal, they can spend time away from the challenges of their illness. It's a customized bedroom designed just for them. How about a princess castle or a pirate ship or a sports-themed bedroom? They transform that child's existing bedroom into a place that only he or she can imagine. A place for them just to be a kid. This effort is done with teams of dedicated volunteers and sponsors, just like our friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and all the community partners. If you'd like to find out more or to donate, go to specialspaces.org. That is specialspaces.org.
Are you a gold breaker? Play your favorite games at Potawatomi Sunday afternoons now through September, and you could win your share of $1 million in prizes. Break the code, win the $10,000 top jackpot, and everyone playing slots also wins a prize. Anyone can win on any machine again and again. Do you have the golden touch? Gold Breaker, only at Potawatomi. Visit paysbig.com/goldbreaker for more. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Now, a training camp update. In Green Bay, here's Mike Clemens.
The Packers reduced their roster to 80 players. Safety Vernon Scott and receiver Danny Davis from Wisconsin were released. Both players dealing with injuries right now. Offensive right tackle Cole Van Lanen, who grew up near Lambeau Field and played for the Badgers, was traded yesterday to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 7th-round pick.
I got a year under my belt now, and I just really am excited for this opportunity. And I get to play in the National Football League. And I think I just need to show that I'm accountable and consistent and can play at a high level at all positions. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm playing all over the board, and I just got to show that it doesn't matter where I play, I can still play at a high level at any position.
His new head coach is former Packers quarterback Doug Peterson. Now the Jaguars are in Atlanta for joint practices against the Falcons. Peterson is looking for a new right tackle on the Jags offensive line.
Still some competition there. It'll be solidified, and whoever that is will be taking all the reps at that spot. So these next 2 days, the game, as much time, if they get any, is important for seeing who those 5 guys are going to be.
In Detroit, the Lions have had live tackling sessions in practice, and the Packers face the Chiefs tomorrow night, where Andy Reid has had Patrick Mahomes playing in the preseason. I asked Matt LaFleur about his decision to keep as many as 30 of his top players out of the game.
Yeah, I think everybody's got their own opinion on it, and we're going to worry about the Green Bay Packers and what's best for us. And there's a lot of guys that don't play their guys too. So, what's the right answer? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. It's whatever works. So, but we're confident in our process and just the number of reps and how we're working our guys to get them to where they need to be. And, I'll let you guys criticize all our decisions.
That's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. I'm Mike Clemens on the Bill Michaels Show.
When it comes to water softening systems, there is nothing better. And I know it because I've had numerous, and I now have the Connecticut water softening system in my home, and it's fantastic. And you can get it from the Water Doctors, H2, the letter O, doctors.com. That's H2, the letter O, doctors.com. John Atley and his staff, they do great work. And I've had just the one system I had for, I think it was like 14, 15 years, and they just put a new system in my home a year ago. But I love the Connecticut system. Never had a problem with it. Never had to have them come out and do maintenance on it or anything like that. All I did was change the filters and fill up the tank with the salt. That was it. Nothing else. I mean, it lasted and lasted and lasted. And they just finally said, we've got a new system. Do you want to upgrade? So I did, but love the water softening system that is Connecticut. The water tastes of the reverse osmosis is fantastic because there is no taste in water. It's just cool, clear, refreshing. And not to mention showers and doing your laundry and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. So get a hold of the Water Doctors, 262-549-7733, 262-549-7733. And don't forget, they also support the Custom Canine Service Dog Academy as well. And they're big supporters, and they're raising funds. It costs about $25,000 per dog for these specific services. So they also support that big time. So go there and check it out. H2, the letter O, doctors.com. Patrick Taylor, backup running back for the Green Bay Packers, trying to make this team. So how big is this final game for him?
It's a big game because it's the next game. Just another opportunity for me to display my ability on special teams and on the offensive side of the ball.
So, for a backup running back, a backup to the backup, so to speak, there's one way to make the team. Not only can you be a good ball carrier, but there's one way to make the team, and that's special teams. This is where he says special teams, when it comes down to all of this, it's going to be the difference maker.
Absolutely. With that third running back spot, you got to be able to produce in a major way on special teams, and that's what I'm looking to do, being able to display my ability on special teams and showing the want to on special teams, because at the end of the day, it just comes down to effort.
That's it. That's it. He gets it. For somebody to say that it's the want to, it's the will, you got to do it. Special teams is a want to. It's not I got to go out here because I'm not a starter kind of crap. I just got to play not to get hurt. It's a will. You got to want to do it. You got to run with your hair on fire. So that's huge for him to say that. And when you talk about being a running back, what's important for him at the running back position?
Being an asset in the pass game, and the major thing, protecting the quarterback. Keeping the quarterback clean and making sure my guy doesn't make the play or disrupt the quarterback's vision to make throws downfield.
Back when Mike McCarthy was here, the running back to actually carry the football was almost secondary. The number one thing you had to do was protect the quarterback. You had to understand blitz pickup. You had to understand your blocking assignments. It's remained for the most part that way. So for him to say, look, I got to understand where I need to be, who I need to block, and why, he's 100% correct. And that being said, there's not too many more opportunities between now and the cut down time, which is next Tuesday, to kind of get things together. So he's got to make the most of his advantages right now.
I'm not nervous at all. I'm confident in my ability, and I'm only looking into controlling what I can control, and that's my effort on the field, and that's my ability on the field, on and off the field, knowing what I'm doing. So I'm not worried about any of the uncontrollables when cut date is.
When you watch the Chiefs have obviously played Patrick Mahomes and company in preseason, and they're using this to get ready for their regular season the way a lot of teams used to. I mean, Andy Reid is old school. So Patrick Taylor said, look, when it comes to pass protection, not whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love or whatever it is, he said this is important, and the Chiefs coming up tomorrow night, that's going to be a test.
Absolutely, 100%. I definitely look forward to that challenge with Kansas City being a very blitz-heavy team, and they're not going to hold back. With it being the third game of the season, I look forward to them blitzing more so they can show teams that they play in the regular season that they're going to blitz a lot. So I'm looking forward to it.
So there you go. We're going to hear more from Tyler Goodson coming up in the next hour. And Darren, you are 100% correct over on the Bud Light live stream. He said, remember, Charles Woodson said that after Rodgers' first practice as a rookie, he knew Rodgers was special. Woodson expanded and said that he knows immediately if somebody has it or not when they enter the league. He said Rodgers had it, and everybody, players and coaches, everybody knew it. It was just the way he carried himself. He approached, his craft, but more so, and I'll expand upon that, Darren, he, as the scout team quarterback, he ate up the starters. He took pride in beating them. He wasn't just there to be the scout team quarterback. He wanted to beat them, and Woodson knew it. Woodson said, man, and I agree with you, that's a great point, that you don't hear a lot of that coming out of defenders right now. on this, Packers team saying, man, this Love kid, boy, he's got it. You don't hear that. They were saying it about Aaron Rodgers big time because he just flat out beat him. When he would run scout team, he'd beat him. And you don't hear a lot of that when it comes to Jordan Love. So not from anybody here and now, and not from, people over the last couple of years that are no longer here that talk about Jordan Love. He's just not a top. And I'm not knocking Jordan Love. I just that these people that love that, he's going to be great. No, he's not terrible, but he's not great. And I'm just sitting here saying, we'll wait and see. They're not going to get rid of him. We'll wait and see. But I think you're looking at things through green and gold glasses. If you think, we're good, no problem. We got this. In a quarterback-driven league where all the rules are bent towards the offense, I think you're fooling yourself a little bit. I just do. We got another hour yet to go. We're going to hear from Tyler Goodson. Got calls, got more emails to get to. Whole lot more. This portion of the program brought to you by our buddy Dwayne at Dwayne's Cover It All up in Wausau, Wisconsin. 715-870-2119, Wisconsin's best canvas, upholstery, and boat cover provider. Oh, you better believe it. Follow him on Facebook as well. That's Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com, DUANES. Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com, or call him 715-870-2119. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Packers making their way to Kansas City today. It's where they'll close out the preseason tomorrow night against the Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers, Jair Alexander, and the rest of the Packers stars will not be playing. That was the word from Coach Matt LaFleur yesterday. He said the risk versus reward not worth it. One guy that might go is Christian Watson. The second-round pick missed the first 2 games as he returned from offseason knee surgery. Wide receiver returned to team drills last week. Wants to play if cleared.
I think it'll be huge. I mean, just getting that experience and, getting my, the first game jitters kind of out of the way and being able to, put my talents out there and kind of see, all the progress that I've made so far. I mean, obviously, last week was a big week for those other guys in terms of, having multiple days to go against, some different colors. So if I get the opportunity to go against a different color, I think it'd be huge for me.
Packers made some roster moves yesterday, including the release of former Badgers wide receiver Danny Davis. He suffered an ankle injury in practice last week. Meanwhile, the team officially announced the trade of former Badgers offensive lineman Cole Van Lanen to Jacksonville. They got a 7th-round pick back in return. Kick tomorrow night in Kansas City, set for 7. Turning to the Badgers, they're fast approaching their first game. They'll get things going a week from Saturday against Illinois State.
It's time to gear up for the hunt at Fleet Farm. Grab all your hunting gear and deals in one easy stop. From deer to waterfowl and upland hunting, Fleet Farm has everything you need this season. Plus, going on now, buy a 5 or 6 gallon Fleet Farm bucket and get 30% off all the Wildlife Research Center products you can fit inside. So head over to Fleet Farm and save big during the Gear Up for the Hunt event.
Well, the Brewers were 10-1 losers last night in L.A. Dodgers knocked Corbin Burns around for 7 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Catcher Victor Caratini ended up pitching the 9th for the Crew. They'll look to bounce back tonight, the final game of that 3-game set. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. Going to hear from Goodson, the backup running back, as to whether or not he feels he's going to need tomorrow night and the practices after to make this Packers squad. Real quick, Tyler in Sheboygan says, when are you going to come back on the air? Here, I'm sick of political talk. I listen on the app every day, which is, Tyler, that's the best way to get it if we're not in your area. Love it. Love the fact that you listen on the app. We've been off the air in Sheboygan for a long time. They went to all political. As they've done in a couple of different areas because they feel that that's where the money is, or because they want to sway people's opinion one way or the other. I would, call the local radio station and say, this sucks. Political sucks. and just move on and tell him to get back to sports. So I don't have a problem with that. Or take a break from it for a while. You get political in the morning, political in the afternoon, put the Bill Michaels show on midday and at least take a break and see what does better. Let's put it that way. See what does better. He says, do you think that Danny Etling finds a job on the Packers roster or somewhere else? I don't think he's going to be, say, on the final 53. I think that's Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. The Packers probably will get Etling onto the practice squad. He's been kind of a journeyman and throughout his career. He has played well and opened some eyes to the point where some people think that he should be ahead of Jordan Love. But I don't think that I don't think that he is put it this way. I don't think he's, unless there's been a rash of injuries via quarterbacks, he's not destined to find himself on another roster unless he's just done some incredibly dynamic things, if that makes sense. So I think he played pretty well for the opportunity he had. I think he played pretty well. Yeah, but I don't think he finds his way onto another roster. I think they get him to the practice squad. So Elijah listening to us in Milwaukee. That's on the Big 920, by the way. The Big 920. Elijah says, Sammy Watkins had some praise for Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that's real or just speak? That's Elijah. I don't know. My assumption is it's real. And the reason why is because Patrick Mahomes is physically incredibly gifted. Okay? He's smart, but he's incredibly... Aaron Rodgers is a whole different level of smart compared to many other quarterbacks in the National Football League. But he's right when it comes to the ability to put a ball on a dime, the snap of a wrist, the accuracy with which he throws. You don't need to do anything but look at that throughout his career. And, he's just on a whole different level. I think we've all recognized that. I think Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers would say have won 2 more, 3 more Super Bowls, I think this isn't even a discussion. I think he goes down, even with Tom Brady winning 7. I think Rodgers goes down as the best quarterback to ever play the game. But because of the lack of rings, you look at some of his postseason performances, specifically as of late, and you say, yeah, great regular season, but the postseason has not necessarily been too kind. But you got to remember all the people that have never won a Super Bowl. Okay. And then you got to take into account the team that he had around him. There were teams that had no business getting to NFC championship games. And because of having him at quarterback, he got him there. So you can almost say that he deserves to be labeled as one of the best or the best just because some of those teams, the defensive deficiencies that were awful. Or because you can say, if you didn't like Mike McCarthy and the offense and the play calling, that they were winning games because of Rodgers in spite of McCarthy. I think you got to give McCarthy more credit than some people do, but certainly he can't take all the credit. And it's not like he personally developed Aaron Rodgers, because there were other quarterbacks that came in and out of the system that were terrible and they didn't ever look better, Tremarcus, real quick. Let's go to Tremarcus listening to us. Tremarcus, how you doing, bud? What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
I think this is the perfect piece of information right now, because talking about people who are trying to make this Green Bay Packers team. Did you hear Kenny Stills is trying to come over here, and he's been trying to come to the Packers for the last 2 years now?
Wouldn't surprise me. I had heard that. I mean, I know a while ago, back when he was playing even in Houston, even when he was with the Saints, because I have my relationship with Gary Ellerson, and Gary Ellerson's such good friends with his dad. Yes, I know that there was a want to, so to speak. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was just a big article about him. I don't know if I read it in the New York Times or where it was, but there was a big article about him pleading with Aaron Rodgers to bring him in.
Yes, and that is the tweets that have been going around for the last few days now, that he really wants. And there have been people, I guess some Packer players are actually trying to get him over there too. So, I mean, who knows what happens? Maybe we could have traded whoever that was. We just traded over to the Jaguars for a 7th round pick. Maybe we could have tried to figure out something with Kenny Stills and getting him over here with us, because I still feel like we need a number one receiver when it comes to the Packers.
I like Kenny Stills too. I think he's got good hands. I don't think he's his dad, but I think Kenny Stills is a good quality receiver. And the big thing is whether or not, put it this way, if you get a rash of injury or something, who knows? Maybe it still works out before it's all said and done.
Real quick, because I know I don't have a lot of time. Yesterday, I was messaging you about how the Packers are going to end up like the Bears and the Vikings. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, so I just want to comment on that real quick. The reason, because you asked me why. So I feel like one of the biggest reasons on why we're going to end up like them is because Jordan Love really, I mean, he's all right. And like you were saying earlier, we don't know how long we're going to have Aaron Rodgers for. So if we don't get a QB to replace him, if we don't start Jordan Love, because he's not as consistent as he should be after 3 years of sitting on the bench, behind Rodgers, then we're not going to have a good, the quarterback kind of makes the team, especially when you have a good leader back there in the backfield, you can get a good quarterback back there. They can make plays and possibly get you, I don't know, we've been going 13-3 for the last 3 seasons. So I feel like with Aaron Rodgers not being in there and us not having the greatest receiving core, we're not going to win as many games, and we're going to end up looking like the Vikings and the Bears, because I just feel it's kind of hard to explain. I just feel like we're going to start going downhill real soon. Our offense is already going downhill in my eyes, getting with us not having Devontae Adams and MVS,
Right.
And just one more real quick thing that I just want to say, and you can let me go. I really find it messed up how Devontae Adams is supposedly the best receiver in the league, and we got less picks for him than Kansas City got for Tyreek Hill when they traded him over to the Dolphins. I just think it's messed up. That's why I'm like, Mike Gutekunst or Brian Gutekunst needs to go. You know what I'm saying? Because whoever's making these trades, something's going on in their head that it's like, really? That's what you got us for, one of the best receivers, just 2 picks. Meanwhile, Tyreek Hill got traded for 3 to 5 picks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Something's going on. But yeah, that's all I wanted to call and say to you, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the phone call. As always appreciate you chiming in. That's our buddy Tremarcus on the line talking about the wide receivers. And the thing about it is saying that, look, the Packers could go back to being as bad as the Bears. Again, it's all about quarterback play. You can get by with a really good defense and an adequate offense and get enough bites at the apple because of your defense to be good, to find yourself winning 8, 9, 10 games, finding yourself in the postseason and having a serviceable quarterback if you have dynamic players around him. If I had to sit here and say right now, you take Aaron Rodgers out, put Jordan Love in, and you've got all these dynamic players around him, I still think it's probably an 8-7 win team, but I don't think it's a 13-14 win team. I just don't, because the quarterback means so much, has to be so precise, can't turn the ball over. I just don't think you have that. I just don't think you have that. This is from Jason, who says, why do you think they're keeping Cobb other than the veteran status? I think they're going to be good. I hate to lose him. Mercedes lose a veteran status also. Here's the thing. I think they have him on the team because Rodgers likes them. They like their veteran presence. They're treating veterans different now. It's not that they're making a ton of money to the point that you can't afford to go out and get anybody else. Okay. But I also think that Rodgers got his point across and said, look, you cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater just because a guy's older. You can't do it. You're developing these guys. You're losing good locker room guys that know how to study, guys that know how to tutor. So then you bring in these young guys. You got to have people here that can welcome them with open arms and say, this is how we do it. You can't just go one and dones when it comes to contracts in the National Football League. I'm not, I think Gutekunst has done a really good job between him and Russ Ball specifically this offseason because of the way they had to manipulate the salary cap and what they had to do to contracts. I think they put their money where their mouth is, literally. I know they had to hold back a little bit because you never know what's going to happen in the season because you gotta plan for the unexpected. You got to plan for the unplanned. I think they've done incredibly well. I think what you have to do, like in any football season, I think the 4 things it takes to win a championship, same with me. You got to be good. I think they're good. You got to be lucky. Luck, it's a determining factor. You got to be healthy. I think health is huge, and then you got to get hot at the right time. We'll see what happens down the stretch. But I think they have, if this team stays healthy, and I'm talking about not losing a lot of guys or one position to detrimental injury where you're losing guys for the season. I'm talking if they can, you lose a guy for a couple of games, okay, you sustain. But as long as they stay healthy, for the most part, I think they're going to be a really good football team. I just do. I think they're going to be really good. So I know that you could say, well, if you got rid of Cobb, Amari Rodgers would step in being that slot receiver and his time at the slot was diminished because of Cobb's presence. It could be true. Could be true because that was what Amari Rodgers was picked as. He is a slot receiver. That's what his deal is. And with Randall Cobb coming back, I'm sure Randall Cobb took snaps, times, and such away and opportunities away from Amari Rodgers. But I still think, learning behind a veteran, chomping at the bit to get your opportunities and making the most of it also is what gets you noticed. Let's do this. We'll come back, get back into the phone calls when we return. Also, I don't want to forget that we're going to also hear from Tyler Goodson, backup running back for the Green Bay Packers when we return. Stay tuned for that. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Forgotten Fire Winery. They're in Peshtigo, and they're not snooty. They're not pretentious. If you want to drink your white wine with ice in it, do it. If you want to drink red wine with fish, do it. If you want to drink a cider, go for it. They win medals. Yes, they're that good. But they just want you to enjoy it. That's what we here in this upper Midwest and the Wisconsin area, that's what we're all about. It's Wisconsin people making Wisconsin wine to enjoy. Don't worry about sipping it with a pinky out or anything like that. Just enjoy it. If you like it, buy more. That's it. It's as simple as that. And don't feel like you have to go like a high-end bottle of wine because it's a high-end bottle of wine. Just drink what you enjoy. And that's what Forgotten Fire is. ForgottenFireWinery.com. That is ForgottenFireWinery.com. Look for it by name. Grocery stores, liquor stores, wine stores, or stop up in Peshtigo, right to the winery. Say hi to Jake and the gang. Stop in. Tell them you want a little bit of a tour. Tell them you want to do a wine tasting. They do a lot of great stuff up there. Music and food on the weekends, benefiting a lot of different charities in the area. That's ForgottenFireWinery.com. That is ForgottenFireWinery.com. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
You never want the creepy crawlies in your house, in your bed. You never want them in your condo. You certainly don't want them if you're a hospital or a daycare or any other business for that matter. And if you have them, you want to get rid of them. If you don't, you want to make sure that they never show up. And that's where the Milwaukee Bedbug Pros come in. MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com. That's MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com. Call them 414-877-5811. They're safe. They're effective. They do thermal and chemical options. Kids, no problem. Pets, no problem. They treat and find and kill bedbug eggs and ants and creepy crawlies of all type. They come in discreet trucks and uniforms. They have customized solutions for whatever situation it may be and your budget for that matter. And they do residential and homes and townhomes and multi-unit apartment buildings and condos and dorm rooms and hotels, motels, resorts, medical facilities, daycare. They do it all. But you can't do anything if you don't call them. Don't let the name Milwaukee fool you. They do it outside of the area as well. 414-877-5811 or go to MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com. 414-877-5811 or go to MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com. There you go. So Tyler Goodson, backup running back for the Green Bay Packers, said, hey, look, this is it. Final test coming up tomorrow night. He's ready for the final test in Kansas City.
I think I'm really just preparing just to put myself in a situation to hopefully be able to make this team. I feel like overall these past 2 games I have been playing well and been running the ball well. So hopefully that carries some weight going into this next game and take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way.
So in the pass protection area, as we were discussing a little bit earlier, he said, look, I'm ready. It's going to be, again, the Chiefs, they're going to bring it. They do blitz. They do certain things defensively, more so than many teams in the preseason. Said that he's solid in pass protection, and he's going to get a good test coming up tomorrow night.
I think I'm pretty good at pass protection. It's obviously like some little technique things that I need to work on, which goes for everybody in pass protection because it's not easy. But I don't think I really had a chance to show in these past 2 preseason games that I can go in there and take on the block.
He also, Tyler Goodson, by the way, the backup running back for the Packers, says Kansas City, like I was talking about, they bring it. And this is a really good opportunity to test the knowledge and test your physical ability and show it off one more time.
Most definitely. I gotta take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way because you never know. It could be my last game in Green Bay or not. Hopefully it's not. You know what I'm saying? And if it goes the way I wanted to go, then I'm gonna just keep progressing, accept my role on the team, and then hopefully one day I'll be able to play the running back spot.
So the support you get, sometimes you got the guys ahead of you that want to teach you. Some guys, they don't want to teach you. They don't want you to take their job. But he said, when it comes to the guys like Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they've had some really good support, really good advice. He said a lot of support from the starters.
AJ and Aaron have done a good job in helping me learn the playbook, keep me up the pace. True leaders, great teammates, and that goes for everybody else in the running back room as well. They just been making sure I know what I'm doing, making sure I know where to go.
So the last but not least discussion, as we talked about earlier, is you got to make the team via special teams. If you're going to be a backup to the backup, you got to be good. And he has heard all the nightmares, seen all the film, and listened to what Bisaccia had to say coming off of his stint with the Raiders last year, and then coming into this system and trying to make special teams better. He said, I've heard it all, and I get it. I understand it. That's all I'm going to have to make the team.
From OTAs, minicamp, I've been hearing it. I really didn't pay attention to it until Coach Rich was saying that how we were, I guess, the worst in the league at special teams. But I think Coach Rich is definitely going to change that. The way he coaches us, the way he teaches us, just his pride and passion for him to see us successful, that's really what's going to set us apart.
So there you go. Good stuff, Tyler Goodson, for a little bit. Excuse me. This one's from Angie. Angie says, going to be in Kansas City. Are you and Mike Clemens going to be here? We've got some barbecue tailgate. Angie, no, not going to be there. I don't even think Mike's going. Mike usually goes, but I don't even think Mike's going. It's this time of year where we're all just kind of, Mike's been at camp every day. There's a ton of travel going on. We're gearing up for the regular season. I think this is one we're all just going to kind of sit it out and then get ready. And a reminder, yes, to answer your last question, the Green and Gold postgame show is back. We'll be on many of these same stations. If they don't carry it, let them know about it. If they don't carry it, then download the app. That's the best way to get a hold of us, either on the app or on the Facebook fan page or on YouTube, whatever it is, and watch the show, chime in, whatever. But we will be back for another season. This will be my 24th season, I think, of Packers football. And we'll be back for 24 years of doing the Green and Gold postgame show. So it's been nonstop. It's been great, and looking forward to it. So, yes, we will be doing the postgame show coming up on many of these same network stations. Good stuff. David, real quick, David says, whatever happened to Kurt Bankert? Well, is Bankert doing anything, Evo? Do you know off the top of your head?
I looked in the other day. I think he was released. He signed somewhere, I thought, but I don't think he made the team. I'll check real quick. He does Twitch. He does gaming.
Yeah, I was going to say he's big on the social media aspect of it, but I don't think he's with anybody right now. He's a free agent. So they brought in Danny Etling, let Bankert go. Huge when it comes to, like you had mentioned, when it comes to the online gaming and Twitch and such. He's got a ton of followers. I know that. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from him in a while. He's still got his picture on his Twitter account that has him as a Green Bay Packer quarterback, but he also has a let's see here. It was 2 days ago. He was sitting on a beach.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing anything at all. So, yeah, it's not much happening.
Hey, people can love Danny Etling now for
right?
For some reason, for a season.
Yeah.
Hey, practice squad guys need fans too.
Yes, they do. He has got, how many people does he have? He's got 85,700 followers on Twitter. And I don't know how many he has on that Twitch on gaming. Apparently he was unbelievably popular. But yeah, I don't. Who knows? But then again, 85,000. If you're a backup quarterback in the Green Bay Packers, I would almost expect you to have 85,000 just because of the rabid Packers fans.
Looks like Kurt Benkirk has 26.8 thousand followers on Twitch.
Does he? Okay. So there you go. Pretty popular guy. Kurt, well, we're talking about the backup to the backup to the backup that's been cut.
People were really in their feelings when he was cut from the Packers.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess.
There you go.
Hey, you like who you like. You like who you like.
I guess. I don't know. Now the real competition would be if you put Kurt Bankert and Danny Etling out on the field against Kansas City, because you're keeping Jordan Love. So put those two guys out there. See who the better backup to the backup would be. Backup to the backup to the backup, whatever. There you go. This one's from Tomato Head, who says Kurt Bankert, he's a gamer, but that's all I can say. Never a great quarterback, but man, he can play EA Sports. Okay. Tomato Head, there you go. Just all right. Got you there. Just weird. This one's from Ryan, who says, I like what the Packers are doing with their roster. I think they're going to be a little bit thin defensively at some of their positions, but otherwise they're really good. And I agree with you. It takes all four things to make a champion. They just have to get hot at the right time. Well, you got to have some luck go your way. I get it. But sometimes luck is the lack of injuries. What happens to the guy next to you versus what actually happens to you? Sometimes it's about that. But beyond that, don't know. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break, come back. I got a lot more to get to. A couple more segments before we get out of here. Hang in there. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
I give that a 2.99. Okay. Hey, Dad.
What's wrong?
That woman over there. Don't look.
What did she do?
She judged my dive. Gave it a 2.99. Isn't that weird?
Hey, that's Gina Della from Pella. I'm going to find out what this is all about. Excuse me. Why are you judging my daughter's diving? I know who you are.
I'm sorry? Judging?
Yeah, she said you yelled out.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about her. I was finalizing this month's special at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. That's funny.
What's special?
Pay only 2.99% interest for 10 years.
On new Pella windows. Really? 10 years?
Yep.
But it's the middle of summer. You can't get a deal on installing new windows during the warmest season.
You can at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Wow, 2.99.
Dad?
Oh, not you, sweetheart. The deal at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. 2.99% for 10 years.
Visit PellaWI.com.
Approved credit.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Yes, the motorcycle ride on Sunday, September 4th. We are still starting at MKE. By then, the new owners will have opened things up. I know that the announcement yesterday kind of sent a little bit of a shockwave through the riding community for those of you who wanted to show up and be a part of the motorcycle ride. Yes, we're still starting at MKE. Yes, they're going to be open. Yes, no problem. Don't worry about it. I even got the police department getting a hold of me. We are going to be at MKE Brewing. They have been with us for years and years and years, and I got the guarantee we're all good. Don't worry about it. No problem. We're just fine. We're just fine. No problem. So looking forward to it. The Bottle House 42 is all set. They're going to be servicing the ride and the event at the brewery. There's going to be food. There's going to be beverages. We're all going to be good. Going to be a lot of fun. So don't worry about it. Bottle House 42's got us covered, and MK Brewing's going to be open, so we're going to be good to go. No problem there. If you've not signed up yet, please do so. If you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, you can scan the QR code right now. It'll take you right to registration. Otherwise, please, if you ride a motorcycle and you can join us, it looks like the weather now, so if you've been waiting for that, the report is 73 to 75 degrees and sunny, mostly sunny, they say. So that looks perfect. It doesn't get much better than that. So if you can join us, please join us. The 15th annual poker run benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. It's brought to you by our friends at Wisconsin Harley Davidson, Potawatomi Hotel Casino, Bud Light, MKE Brewing, Growth Law, also our friends at Great Lakes Dragaway, Buzzard Billy's Restaurant out in La Crosse, and our friends at Kane and Kane Jewelers. They are in West Bend, one of the best jewelry stores around. Check them all out, but get registered because we got some great prize packages for pre-registration. We've got some great prize packages for the best poker hand, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So please, please, please come out and join us. Got an email here from Tristan, listening to us in Madison. Said Goodson has been the better back this year. You got to keep him. Taylor's probably going to end up in the practice squad. He said, what's one thing you could bring back? He says, I would bring back White Castle in Madison. Ebo, when was the last White Castle in Madison?
Wow.
Do you remember White Castle in Madison?
No.
I don't either.
Not at all. I'm 34 years old. Let's see here. White Castle in Madison. The only other time I've had White Castle is when I got it at the freezer section from the grocery store, and it was terrible.
Yeah, you can't eat White Castles out of the freezer section.
No.
You can't do that. Now, there's every now and then, because White Castle, Big Boy, Skyline Chili, Penn Station Cheesesteak and Subs, La Rosa's Pizzas, they're on every street corner in Cincinnati where I grew up. So I grew up on White Castles. There's one in Kenosha. And every now and then when I get that hankering, I'll go there. It's maybe twice a year. But when I go, like I'm traveling to Chicago, I'll stop there all the time. I always hit that place.
So there's a White Castle that's been in business for 13 years in Kenosha that I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever one. I don't know if there's ever one in Madison.
I don't ever remember one in all my time being here. And
I know
in the States.
There's a Taco John's. That's like,
yeah, Taco John's is down the street from my house here in
there's the last Hooters in Wisconsin resides on Madison's east side.
Yeah.
There's like it's Hooters' last stand over there. So
yeah. Yeah, the Hooters right up the street from me, they not only did they close, but it took them forever because they just closed the door. But they still had all the restaurant stuff. The sign was still up. You could clearly see if you walked past it because it's over in a strip mall right near my house. You could clearly see all the menus and stuff still sitting on the table. It's like they just walked out and locked the door because all the attire and stuff was hanging there, the souvenir stuff, the shirts, and now it's all gone. They've
maybe
come in
someone
and cleaned it out.
Did they all get interested in butts over there instead of Hooters? Like, is that what it was?
Here's the bottom line with Hooters, and I've said this all along. Hooters, you went there originally because it was good burgers and the girls. Okay, that was the concept. And then when it went to wings, well, across the street went in a Buffalo Wild Wings, and the Buffalo Wild Wings, and Buffalo, their wings are better. And Hooters, their quality, I don't know where they got their wings from, but it was like anorexic, hairy wings. You know, it was like little skinny chickens or something. I don't know what happened to them. And it was terrible. I never went there for the food. You know, I went there because we did shows there and drink a beer every now and then, but I never went there for the food. And if that's what you're going to build your reputation on, other than the girls better be unbelievably hot to overcome bad food. And that's what they had. Was it up the street from the house was just bad food. So people kind of quit going there. And you know, I beyond that, I couldn't tell you, you know, so that was the reason they
Hooters last stand, east side of Madison. Yep. I don't think there ever was a White Castle though.
No, I can't remember White Castle out there. What do I wish you could bring back? Drive-in theaters.
Those are kind of popping up a little here and there.
Yeah, they're starting to come back. Drive-in theaters, Roy Rodgers restaurant. Remember, did they have Roy Rodgers here?
No, I never. No.
Roy Rodgers was the home of the original hamburger. Goolsby sells it. Major Goolsby's downtown Milwaukee sells it the same, where they actually put ham on a burger. It's a burger with ham on it, and then they put whatever you want on top of it. But it's really good. And they used to call it the double R burger. But that was something.
You remember Shakey's? You ever went to Shakey's?
Yeah, Shakey's Pizza.
Like Shakey, there used to be a Shakey's in Janesville I went to as a kid. I just had this memory of a big old like buffet and smorgasbord, and it being good. But that's my last memory. It's like I was like 5 years old, long time ago.
Okay. Max says Ponderosa. Ponderosa, really? Ponderosa was Ponderosa. Okay, my mom, it was a big deal when mom and dad, when I was a kid, took you to Ponderosa because my dad would always order the steak. My mom would get whatever she wanted, you know, that type of thing. But as a kid, you could go through and load up. You can get the burger, you can get the salad, you can get the goodies, you can get the extra dessert, all that kind of stuff. That was fantastic. But then you got the free ice cream. But the ice cream sucked. The ice cream was just white ice. It no flavor to it. It was nasty stuff. You know, so Ponderosa is really Ponderosa. If you could bring back anything, your first go-to is Ponderosa. Who the hell would bring back a Ponderosa?
Someone likes to gnaw on some rubber.
Yeah,
Like,
not the same.
Was
man.
it even steak or was it like raccoon, pigeon, and leather boot tongue?
My dad loved it. My dad would go there and he couldn't wait. They because they'd always give you the little stick, right? It came out, whatever you ordered, it would have a stick and it would say the R for rare, medium rare, or well done. You'd always get the stick they stick it in your steak. And then as you go by, you grab it, My dad loved Ponderosa, going there for a steak. He just, he thrived on it. But that was years ago, back when the quality of food was different. Now it's just,
No, it's like a science experiment gone wrong
Yeah.
that they like pass off as, I don't
Yeah.
know what, it's not even food
like
anymore.
cats in the neighborhood are missing, it's not what I would think of. If I want to go to a steak place, there's a couple of good ones near me. I'm not making it Ponderosa. So it's just, I guess it's more for the memories than anything else, right? So
Was it actually good when we were younger, or was it just we're just nostalgic and we thought it was good?
We didn't know any better.
So no, we're just gnawing on raccoon.
We just didn't know any better, right? That's like Burger Chef. Remember, was there Burger Chef in Wisconsin?
No.
Burger Chef was like an offshoot of Burger King, and instead of getting a king hat at the crown, you got a chef's hat. It was the same thing. It was but it was like Burger Chef became Hardee's. They got rid of Burger Chef because Burger Chef and Hardee's were kind of competing for the same clientele in nearby settings, and then Burger Chef went by the wayside. When I was a kid, there was a place called Sandy's. Sandy's was just a one-off, but they sold kind of like White Castle, but they were big burgers. They were cooked in the onions, and they were really good. But it was more of a Scottish themed place, and all the girls, that was probably before the tilted kilt, but they didn't wear the schoolgirl outfits back then. They just wore the white shirt with the little bagpipe looking hat and the kilt skirt. That was more of a drive-in.
You know what, the Chi-Chi's? I used to go to Chi-Chi's.
Chi-Chi's, yeah.
Chi-Chi's.
Well,
they had the tortillas that you could eat.
Wasn't it Max McGee that started Chi-Chi's?
Yeah. Chi-Chi's did.
Yeah. Chi-Chi's.
They had the tortillas, the warm tortillas. You get the butter on them and stuff. It's pretty good.
Chi-Chi's and Don Pablo's. Those are the two places we used to go to all the time. All the time. You get the Chi-Chi's margarita, that big ass giant swimming pool of a margarita. Oh yeah. That was good stuff.
So these don't exist anymore, Bill. When I was 19, 20, I found a fake ID, and I would get those giant margaritas.
Yeah,
and they're like a karaoke night. Imagine me just.
Oh yeah, I could see it. Yep. I could see.
Neil Diamond never was sang better, man.
The chimichangas at Chi-Chi's were second to none. I loved them.
Dude, bring back Chi-Chi's.
Bring back Chi-Chi's. Yep, I'd go with that. Damn straight, I'd go with that. You bet, no doubt. Let's do this. We got a little bit off pace, but let's do this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. Coming up next to the Bill Michaels Show.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Catch all the racing action at Road America. Camping and corporate events available as well. Go to roadamerica.com for all the information. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Now, a training camp update. In Green Bay, here's Mike Clemens.
The Packers practiced yesterday, getting ready for tomorrow night's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Rookie receiver Christian Watson has been at practice now the past 3 days. I asked him about the possibility of getting his first snaps in Kansas City.
If I do play, it'd be my first game. I mean, it'll, the energy would be there regardless. If I was playing at, any stadium, it's definitely, a huge opportunity to, play at a, infamous stadium. And, it's my first one, so it'll be energetic regardless.
Amari Rodgers is battling for a spot on that list of wide receivers and was asked if he's excited about playing against the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just knowing that it's Arrowhead, for sure. Just to know that the environment that they have. Last year we played there and it was a night game, so, it was pretty lit. Jordan's first start and stuff, so it was a big game for us. So I got a feel of it last year. I'm kind of knowing what to expect, especially it being a night game.
Now, the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Head coach Andy Reid was asked if he's been pleased so far by free agents Juju Smith-Schuster and former Packers wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Yeah, the guys are playing fast, and we were short a couple guys in there too, so we had some younger guys in. I like what I'm seeing. We've got to keep getting better. And this is preseason, so we've got to keep building on this. But I do like the speed. A priority to go get some guys that can run, and that's what you're seeing.
That's Chiefs head coach Andy Reid in Green Bay. I'm Mike Clemens on the Bill Michaels Show.
Welcome back. Bill Michaels Show. Continuing on, don't forget about our friends over there at Sloppy Joe's and Smoke on the Water. They got a big event coming up here next Saturday as well at Smoke on the Water. So if you're looking for something to do during the hometown rally weekend, if you're not going to be at one of the dealerships, make it Smoke on the Water. They got a lot of good stuff happening out there. And we're going to stop out there. They're going to remind people to make it to the ride, the motorcycle ride coming up on Sunday, September 4th, the very next day. So we hope to get everybody signed up, pre-registered, but nevertheless, going to stop out there. So they got a big event going on, too, at Smoke on the Water on Okauchee Lake coming up on Saturday, September 3rd, if you're looking for something to do. Bands, music, all that kind of good stuff. So stop on out. Boston store, Evo. I got 2 or 3 people that said, Mike, for God's sakes, bring back Boston store. I don't know why, but they did. Are you a mall walker?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not, in my twilight years yet.
No.
But
I'm just talking about somebody who likes to go to the mall.
Well, I'll pop into the mall every once in a while. It's so depressing now, dude. It's so sad. It's well, the Boston store here at the Westtown Mall, it's converted into they just started hiring for whatever department store just bought it. It starts with the V, Von something, Von Mauer.
Von Maur? Von Maur is right here by
that.
my house, and that's always got people in it.
Oh, well, yeah, I think they're just starting to hire here on the west side.
Yeah.
They're about to open soon. So that used to be the Boston store location.
Yeah, that's I like Von Maur. I go there quite often. They've got really good and reasonable price jewelry, shoes. They carry a ton of good men's stuff. And they gift wrap for free.
What's the mall like in Milwaukee? Because here in like both East and West Side Madison, it's like 60% of the stores are like empty.
The mall near me, which is the Brookfield Square Mall, has been going through renovation for years now. The anchor store, which was Boston store, is gone, and that portion of it's empty. JCPenney's about down to nothing. Every time I go in there to look for something, there's nothing there. They don't even stock it hardly anymore. And a lot of the small shops, they change. And it, like you said, it's kind of depressing. Where the jewelry stores and stuff used to be when you'd walk through, there's nothing. they're vacant for the most part, but there are still, I go to the Buckle. I'll go to the Buckle and get gins and all that kind of stuff. I stop in there. There's a couple of places there that I like that I'll go into, and they still have Cinnabon and Annie Ann's. Love that.
Annie Ann's will never. Annie Ann's like a not to compare the two, but they're like the cockroaches, dude. They'll be here after the nuclear holocaust.
Yeah. And I
like
love
Annie Ann's will always be around.
I can survive on Annie Ann's and Cinnabon. I those two, yeah. But for the most part, the food court's dead, and they renovated that place. I mean, they put a fireplace in it and everything. And it's dead. There's probably 2 or 3 stores or 2 or 3 restaurants left, and that's it.
I used to love a Annie Ann's and an Orange Julius.
Orange Julius, that was the other one. Yep, love that too. That's gone. That's not there.
That's gone.
But there's still some stores that like Vans is still there, and there's a couple of the Journey store. I still go in there every now and then. Even though it's kind of younger stuff, but I'll go there. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot there. Now the other side. Over at Mayfair. Mayfair's still alive and kicking. That's the Central Mall now. That probably draws the most people, and they've expanded. They got Crate and Barrel and a bunch of different stores and Cheesecake Factory out front and everything, and they do pretty well. The restaurants in the Brookfield Square Mall do really well, like the Fish Market, Bravo, Cooper's Hawk. They got a whole end. They got the Wisconsin University store down there. They've got Bar Louie. They put in an Uncle Julio's, Fleming Steakhouse, Lou Malnati's Pizza. They got all that down there. So the restaurants are doing great, but the actual mall, the retail side of thing, it's not good. Then there's Northridge Mall. That's in the news like every other day now here because it's been dead for so long, and they keep setting it on fire, hoping the place will burn down. The owner of the place has been told to level it, and he doesn't have the money to do it, so he's being fined $2,000 a day. The fire department's on the news like every other day, telling everybody what a danger it is. It's riddled with crime and homeless and people breaking in. The fences are being torn down. I mean, it's awful, and they haven't done anything with that. So that's a mess. But yeah, I love Christmas time.
A different kind of mall walker.
Yes, it is. I love Christmas time because I always have loved walking the mall. I love carrying the bags. I love walking the mall. I love listening to the music. Yeah. And even though it does frustrate the hell out of you because people tend not to give, 2 damns about you, and they just walk and talk and sit on their phone and they run into you and everything, and you want to punch them. But I love that time of year. But I miss going and trying things on. I can't tell you how much crap that I buy, and I'll say, oh, yeah, this will fit. No problem. This is what I always am. And like pants now, you never know what pants are. Like if I go to the mall and I go to the Buckle, I know I'm a 36 waist and long, 34 plus, 36 plus. Okay. But if you buy pants online, oh, my God. If you get it from an Italian manufacturer, holy crap, I can't even get my wang in my pants, much less a leg, and nothing will fit. It's awful. It's the worst thing. So I hate buying clothes online. So
put some olive oil on your thighs, slide in there.
Right? I feel like Ross in Friends when he had to put the baby powder all over his leather pants just to get into them. I usually go to like Buckle, and then I find what I like, and then if they don't have it, I'll order it, or they'll order it for me. Yeah, and I'll buy like 5 pairs a year, and that's all I need anyway because I don't go through them. And I'll buy 5 pairs a year, and right now I have probably like 15 pairs of jeans in my closet, and that's it. So I'm not like everybody else where they have.
You should check out Hilldale down like in the middle of downtown Madison here. It was once an indoors mall. Now it's an outdoors mall. So
okay,
probably 10 years from now they'll probably change it back to be an indoor mall.
Yeah, I could do that. I love walking the mall, man. I have to stop in. That's going to kind of do it. Tonight, we have got the Bill Michaels Huddle. We are back. Kevin Holden from CBS 58 is going to be joining me this evening. Kevin is going to be our on-site guest. We are going to be live for the first time down at the Mecca, which is in the Deer District, right next to the Fiserv Forum. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network, but it's the Bill Michaels Huddle presented by Bud Light. Coming up tonight, our first one of the year. Next week, if you can't make it tonight for whatever reason, next week we're going to be out in the sun and the fun of the evening sky as they close out Wednesday Night Live at the Budweiser Pavilion at Wisconsin State Fair Park. We're going to do a live show. I know we can do it from inside at the Goose Island Ale House because that's where we do it from for State Fair. But we'd love to take it outside and sit in the courtyard at a picnic table and just do the show. That would be fantastic if we could do it. And we haven't got a guest for that yet or not, but that's going to be a lot of fun too. So we got 2 great weeks of football coming up tonight and then next Wednesday night. And then obviously the Packers game tomorrow night. And then we'll be back at it on Friday. And we got a lot of travel coming up, but thanks for stopping down the night, preluding that, so to speak. So we're looking forward to it. Anything else, Ebo, before we get out of here that I missed?
Bring back Chi-Chi's, man.
Bring back Chi-Chi's.
Bring back Chi-Chi's.
Couple of good restaurants you could probably think of. But if we could expand White Castles, we don't necessarily need to bring them back, but expand it, for God's sakes. Expand it. Put it all over the state of Wisconsin. Everybody needs a case of the Trots, for God's
sakes. And go walk your local mall. All right?
Yeah, go walk your
just
local
not the
mall.
one that they're trying to burn down in Milwaukee.
They do, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another fire tonight. For the 5th time in 2 months, somebody tried to burn it down. I think it's the owner trying to go in there and torch that thing so he doesn't have to level it. The insurance.
It's called insurance fraud, Bill.
Right? I know. All right, that's it. We'll talk to you tonight. We're going to be live down at the Mecca Bar and Grill, downtown Milwaukee in the Deer District, right across from the Fiserv Forum. We'll see you down there tonight, myself, and also our buddy Kevin Holden from CBS 58.